Good evening and welcome everybody to session 8 of the Ritual Cast presentation of D&D 5e Age of Shackles. I want to thank you for joining us and encourage you to ask questions in the chat if there's something you don't understand or would like to know more about. If you aren't up to date on the progress of the campaign but would like to be, you can also find all of our previous sessions here as VODs or at Doxy's YouTube channel. Feel free to sit back and relax as I take some time to give a brief recap of the highlights from our last game. Our last session began Chapter 2 of the Age of Shackles campaign as our party worked out the best way to handle the Baron's special commission, helping out the Kustine Ranch with their Gorgon rustling problem. However, as they did a bit of research into the origins of the quest and those that had tried previously, things didn't seem to quite add up for the party, and they were suspicious that there may be more afoot than your standard petty thieves or robbers. After some sleuthing about and sourcing the locals for information, they pieced together at least a workable action plan and would head out first thing in the morning. However, before retiring to their respective resting places, the first caravan signaling the arrival of Convalescence Day made its way into Black River. The largest holiday and biggest celebration which takes place throughout all the world of Aliord was just 1 week away, and that meant that the celebrations had already started. Merchants peddling wares claimed to be from all over the world filed into the barony, attempting to offload their goods for coin or trade, and everything ventured couldn't help but do a bit of shopping themselves, purchasing a variety of trinkets, oddities, and some foodstuffs that promised to be mind-blowing. Satisfied with their haul, the group as a whole decided that they would head to the modest accommodations of Das in order to partake in the mind-altering substances together with Val as the voluntold trip sitter. The particular item that they chose to use first promised to have varying effects from user to user with never the same result. What followed was nothing short of fantastical, as the powerful substances they imbibed warped reality around them. The town of Black River, nearly reclaimed by the forces of nature, trees, grasses, etc., as they grew at a rate thousands of times faster than normal, with Esperna herself becoming a tree and experiencing the full passage of time as though it were hundreds of years in but a few moments. Das found himself unable to speak, as even the act of opening his mouth mimicked or perhaps perfectly copied the breath weapon attacks of fearsome dragons. Though the ability was not explored, it seemed that each time he went to speak, a different element and intensity occurred. Hila quite literally had an out-of-body experience as her spirit was wrenched from its mortal coil and she was able to walk with her ancestors for a short time before being brought back to her senses by the quick-thinking Val before any permanent harm could befall her. Meanwhile, the Warforged Posh experienced a similar soul-rending experience as his physical form became nothing but mist, and he found himself able to fly at great speed to any destination. However, unfortunately, he was trapped within the manifestation of a fey demiplane of Esperna's druidic dream and was unsure of where he was going. It was the desire to retrieve the piece of bark from the legendary Nightfall Wizardwood tree that found the group inhabiting a foreign tower as Esperna's dream trip came to an end. The tower's occupant, who now found himself awoken by the sudden arrival of 5 unarmed, night-dressed adventurers, was expectedly annoyed, but in his sleep-induced stupor, failed to notice that Posh had spotted and quickly palmed the bark they had been unable to acquire previously. He kindly ushered them out without harm, but not before threatening that if any of his possessions turned up missing, that the Baron would hear of it. Luckily, despite being several hours removed from Black River proper, the party stumbled across a group of night patrollers from the House of Justice who recognized Val and agreed to escort them back to town. When they arrived, they found the town completely changed. Esperna's demiplane had partially manifested into the material, and indeed nature had done its best attempt at reclaiming the town. There were a great many new trees, grass had grown to knee height and completely overtaken the dirt and cobbled roadways, flowers sprouted wherever they could find space, and moss and vines had overtaken every wall and building. Thankfully, it seemed that nobody had worked out the cause of the issue, or at least the direct root cause of the issue, and they were able to return to their rooms to sleep the remainder of the night away so they could make a quick and quiet departure in the morning. Before we begin, is there anything that any of you, my players, feel that I may have forgotten or left out of the recap that you would like to call attention to?
No, I completely forgot about the bark, actually. I completely forgot about that.
Oops.
I think that pretty well covered it.
No, Espy didn't forget about the bark.
we just have to escape without getting caught with it, right?
We did escape without getting caught with it. I guess we haven't escaped town, but...
Well, I mean, just we have the intent of coming back to town too. So.
Guess we're gonna have to figure out a use for that bark.
Oh, so excited about it.
Well, I believe that we officially left off with everybody having slept, if I remember correctly. So we should be looking at like first thing in the morning here. And what do you guys want to do? Obviously, you're headed out, but as you guys just pointed out, you do now have the bark. If you wanted to take some time to take a look at that, or if you just wanted to get on the road, that can always wait until later.
Yeah, it's more than a day's travel to the ranch, right?
Yeah, it's a day or two.
Yeah, I feel like we should just inspect it at camp.
Well, we might as well just check it out. It's going to take me literally a minute.
Okay. Okay, Josiah. Josiah, okay.
Like, I can do it while we're walking. This is going to cause 0 delay.
Well, then let's pick it up. We got to get on the road.
Bark me, fam. Let's take a look.
Woof woof.
I'm very
Was
mad
there
at you.
anything that we needed to buy? Because we did go through the effort of putting a deposit on renting horses.
Rope? Is it a need?
We did discuss getting extra rope. Question is, I think we didn't buy any yesterday.
Yeah, I don't have extra rope in
No.
my inventory, if I recall.
So,
I have just my 50 feet of rope.
yeah. Well, thank God we did the horses already. Okay. Real quick, while somebody's barking, we can go and buy, let's say, maybe 200 extra feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that
That's a
way,
lot.
if they come in 50-foot increments, that's enough for everyone of normal height to have an extra 50 feet if we need it. So,
You guys need to buy some rope.
yes.
Yes.
How much?
200 feet, please.
That'll be 5 gold pieces as you find a general trader who happens to be carrying around that much rope. But you do buy out his entire stock.
Cool. Okay, 200 feet of rope.
Anything else?
I think that'll do it for. I can't think of anything.
No.
Yo, this bark is sick. I say in character, looking at the bark.
So, do you literally say this bark is sick?
This bark is sicketh.
No, I'm asking because if you say it's sick, I'm gonna get real upset and be like, "Oh no, the tree is sick!" Ah! Start
It's a,
freaking out.
It's an elvish expression. It's a good thing. This bark is very fascinating.
So,
me of
so
Mjolnir,
not
still-
sick then.
I'm still studying it / reading the thing it does.
Do you want to share with the class?
Yes. So, unfortunately, SB, you actually I don't think can use this item right now, unless you want me to teach you a thing or two. Because in order to attune to it, you have to have wizard levels. If you are attuned to it, you can use it as an arcane focus for the purpose of casting arcane spells as a wizard. And what does that do for us? Well, it's a cool focus. That's great. Also, upon completing a long rest, you can roll a d20. After any d20 is rolled, but before knowing the result, you can substitute that roll with the one that you rolled. So basically, it gives you one use of like a divination wizard's portent ability, which is
Nice.
pretty cool. Also, you can use the other ability called Shared Knowledge, which says you may grant proficiency in any skill that you are proficient in to another party member, and this effect lasts until a check is made and failed using that skill. You may change the skill and party member upon completing a short rest. So once per short rest, I'm assuming I'm going to attune to it because I'm the only wizard in the party right now. I can give one of my skill proficiencies to one of you guys, and you get one use with that skill upon having proficiency, which is pretty cool.
You get any number of uses until you fail.
Oh, sorry, yeah,
Oh.
that's actually way better. Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
You can use it as many times as you want until you fail. Alternatively, you can grant fluency in any physical language that you are fluent in.
Oh,
So
that's
instead
cool
of a
because you're the
skill, I can
language
just
guy.
be like, here,
Hmm.
have a language, which is kind of neat. There's another thing which I didn't read yet, but the Wizardwood's natural magic allows a wizard who is attuned to it to prepare and cast each of the following spells once, if they are sufficient level to cast them, or sufficient level to cast a spell. Once each spell on this list is cast, it can no longer be cast again. These spells do not count against your standard preparation or casting limit. You may only prepare a number of spells equal to proficiency bonus each long rest. Cool.
That's dope as
And
hell.
it's just got a bunch of spells ranging from 1st level to 6th level attached to it.
Damn.
Damn.
How's that for a 5-finger discount?
This is a sick item, and I'm sorry that it's something that you can't use.
I mean, the name was literally the Wizardwood tree.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like, I should have seen this coming,
You're
but
right.
I'm not sorry, like, at all, because that's still a great item.
Although, for what it's worth, I'm glad we got it because we wouldn't have gone to the effort to do anything about it unless you had been so interested in it. And it turns out it's a really fucking
Yeah.
sick item.
So, sick.
Yeah. So, Wolf, just so I understand that with the last one, those spells, as long as I can cast that level, they're like scrolls kind of, right? They're just like one-time use,
Yeah.
you get to cast that. Okay.
That's correct.
All right, I'm going to keep the sheet then so I can mark off what has been used, if used. Also, since this is the first time I've had to attune to something in using gritty realism, how does that work? Is it just over a short rest like it typically is?
Yeah, it would be a short rest.
Okay. I'll just stash that away for now then. Cool. Very cool. That's a really sweet item. So in character, Das will just explain to you what this thing does at a painstaking length, probably taking 4 times as long as I just did to do so. It's very interesting. It is.
If you want a name for it, it's a piece of natural wizard wood.
Okay. I'll put that in the old inventory here.
That guy didn't need it. I don't feel bad about taking it.
I don't know. Did I have you guys roll history on the wizardwood tree last time?
I think I did,
Hmm.
We
if I'm not mistaken.
somebody rolled something because we got it. We got a breakdown about how, like, wizards that rest beneath it recover more
Mhm.
quickly, and just like a
Mhm.
basic.
If I'm not mistaken, both SB and I rolled on it, and we both rolled like the same number.
Mm.
Sure.
A bit of a
The
breakdown.
only other piece of information that you would want to know here is, and this is kind of mentioned in the item description, but people harvest bark from this tree. A limited amount is allowed to be harvested at any given time in a year. But occasionally, as the tree grows, bark will also naturally be cast off, and that is what's like really highly sought after, and that's what you have here.
Okay.
As an example, a piece that you might have harvested manually, like, or torn off the tree, wouldn't have nearly the magical potency to it, so it would have a much more diminished effect.
I now understand why when I used detect magic, and I was like, "What school of magic is it?" And you're like,
Oh.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 10 of them, I should say.
All right.
So, as you guys are kind of like getting on the road, Das is like not doing his job of getting his horse ready or helping with anything. He's just like buried in this piece of bark. And again,
yeah.
you can shape it. It doesn't have to stay in the shape of like raw bark. So if you wanted to carve it into a shape, you could. But other than that, I think we're just onto the road. Is that right?
I believe believe so.
Yeah, Hila would be very
Yeah.
impatient. She's excited to get on the road so that we can get to camp so that she can see Pale.
Okay, so you guys have purchased some rope. You guys have identified the wizard wood bark and are on the road with absent-minded Doss. Like somebody has probably even lifted him into his saddle at this point and just slapped the horse on the ass to get it going, or maybe he's riding in the wagon. Who knows? But either way, still early in the morning as the sun is yet to reach its peak. You find the going to be a little bit rougher than it might normally be, given that the road has been almost completely overgrown. Even a few hours outside of town, the road is overgrown. So that you're still witnessing the full reach of the demi-plane's manifestation into the material. But a small benefit seems to be that nature itself seems unnaturally drawn to the new growth. Several birds and other small game that have been spotted that might have already moved on for winter normally. Several times a bright colored bird not normally seen at this time of year is spotted on a branch, singing gaily for a mate, or like a great hare is munching on the new growth in the roadway, only to scurry away upon seeing your wagon and horses coming lumbering toward it. Moo and Sospero also seem to be in high spirits, and the 5 riding horses that you've rented from the Baron stable master have a bit of a chipper step to them. So just the area around here is like has almost like a positive vibe to it. And I think maybe both Hila and Asperna would kind of feel like maybe the touch of Pale is here, as it's just a bit of growth and warmth before winter. In addition to that, like the air itself feels a bit more like a later summer day, much more so than the precursor to winter that it should. And in saying so, a gentle breeze kind of disturbs the sparse canopy that's above you, which allows the sun to shine more clearly into the surrounding woods. But a reflected sunbeam scatters back directly into Pasha's good eye, momentarily blinding him. Strange, given that there ought not be anything quite so reflective in the woods.
Do
So
the rest
did
of us
something-
notice it?
Yeah.
Well, Pasha's the first one that was blinded. So does he say or do anything?
I mean, does it hurt? Is it a blinding? It's weird. I'm gonna point it out. I'm gonna
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know how like sometimes light will reflect off a metallic object or a screen and hit you in the face? It's that. So, I mean, it's blinding in that it's suddenly bright and uncomfortable.
Okay. And is it off in the side front?
Well, we'll describe that here in a second. But just like now that you've said that you react, I didn't want to take that agency away from you. So as everybody kind of sees Posh like recoil from something, being adventurers, you'll all quickly turn to look at him and make sure that he's okay. And you'll see a piece of like yellow gold light is like bathing his face. And as he's kind of looking in the direction of it, you'll spot a great male buck standing idly on top of like a moss-covered stone, gazing off into the direction of Black River, seemingly having not noticed or having chosen to ignore the group of travelers in their wagon rumbling down the uneven overgrown roadway. But what is most peculiar about this creature isn't its large size or impressive rack, but rather its adornments. Each of its antlers seems to bear some piece of glitter or glamour, with golden hoops hanging from several tines, a silver bangle on another, bronze chimes which jingle in the breeze, dangling majestically from the lower points. There's even a fine cavalier hat with a striking peacock feather, white where normally it would be green, but keeping the vibrant purple eye, adorning the peak of the antlers. As you peer more intently, you can see several rings, necklaces, and other bits have been placed on the various spikes of the buck. Doss, will you make an intelligence check for me, please?
Certainly. Just straight intelligence?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what I call a memory check. So, while studiously researching any local legends mentioning creatures that could change shape into the form of a beast, you faintly recall having read mention of a phenomenon colloquially known as the lottery buck. It is a magnificent giant deer, or multiple giant deer over generations, you can't be sure, which the locals adorn with offerings all throughout the year. When winter begins and he loses his antlers after the rut, there's a great hunt to find and recover them. The lucky person who does so is allowed to keep the goods and is said to be blessed with good fortune for a number of months equal to the number of tines still remaining on the discarded antlers. The deer seems unafraid of you and has now turned to watch you cautiously, and as he like mindlessly chews a bit of moss. What do you do?
Having remembered that, I would speak up and explain that to everyone, essentially, and just say, "Oh, read about this peculiar creature in the library when I was researching other things, but that's the lottery bug." It's a crazy tradition. And I would just explain like the whole thing behind it.
So Posh and Valentina and Esperna, being somewhat local, may have heard of this legend. I'll let each of you go ahead and roll history for me. It's a no from Posh. No, it's a no from everybody. None of you have heard of this.
I will add
Is there anything-
mushrooms.
What is it you plan to do? It is still attached to animal.
Well, exactly. I feel like it would be in bad faith. Kill the animal to get its horns, and also, deprive the good people of, what's the name of this town again?
Black
I can
River?
never remember these places. Black River, thank you. Those folks of their springtime tradition and whatnot.
Well, killing it's out of the question. The good people here are clearly making minor offerings to a nature spirit of some kind, and if we kill it, we destroy the balance that they've created. So let's just take this blessing of pale that we've gotten this morning and be respectful.
I will add mushrooms.
That's a great idea.
So you want to approach the buck?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you approach the buck, you'll see that like he actually takes a few cautious steps toward you as well. And upon seeing that you have something in let's just say an outstretched hand, he'll even lower his head to you as though he knows what's coming and is expecting it. As he does so,
Sorry,
as he
I'm
does
very
so,
sorry.
no, it's fine. The cavalier cap tumbles to the ground, and you find that he has several tines free that you're able to adorn with mushroom caps.
I'll also pick up the cap and try to balance it back on.
As you pick up the cap, you'll feel that it is like an absolutely divine crushed velvet. Probably one of the softest materials you've ever felt.
Yuck.
And you'll notice that there is something sewn inside the brim as well.
He was not a thief.
Oh no, come on. Gotta
Not
keep
even gonna
it.
Look at it. At
No.
least look at it.
No way.
You-
I'm putting it back on the buck. It's not mine.
You've been blessed by the buck. He gave you a gift in return.
Okay, she would hold it out and ask for me.
The deer snorts.
I would put it back on his antlers. Sorry, guys.
Does anybody else want to make an offering to the buck?
Yes.
I'll make an
Absolutely.
offering to the buck. I'm gonna get that hat.
Do you
I'm
want to
gonna
race
be-
for the hat? Because I want that hat. I want that hat so bad.
Somebody is gonna be jaunty as fuck in this
It's
group
not
right now.
for
Oh,
us.
wait. Hang on, real quick. When Posh got a hat last game, what kind of hat was it? Because if he's got a hat, he doesn't need two hats.
What do you mean when he got a hat?
When he was
Did you
in
buy a hat?
Orlando- Well, because when
he
I
Yeah, but
stole a
that
hat
was
from
just-
a
yeah, I
passerby.
stole a hat. Yeah.
Oh, no, it just would have been like a cap.
I'm good with a cap. I'll just have my cap.
I was
I'm
thinking like Carmen Sandiego style.
I can't
Fedora
believe you people
type.
right now.
Well, okay, but what offerings are you guys making to the buck? So Gila has poked some mushrooms onto his antlers.
They're good and slimy.
Val
They'll
is
stick.
Too stingy.
What do I have?
Mhm.
I have a set of fine clothes in my pack. Can I assume that like amongst that there would be like maybe something lightweight, like a fine scarf or something?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's assume it's something frilly and lacy and scarfy, so it's lightweight and would stick on the
Yeah.
on the antlers
So-
properly.
So you'll drape the scarf on the antlers, and he'll kind of toss his head a little bit, and once again the hat falls free.
Yoink. I mean, thank you, kind spirit.
Hila will
You will
scold you a
also
little.
notice. You'll also notice that there appears to be something sewn inside the brim.
I'm sorry, Hila, I didn't hear what you said.
She would scold you a little. She'd say, "It's not for us."
Well, it's kind of for us. I mean, he did offer it to us twice now. Like
Hasn't
once,
shed the
sure,
antlers
but
yet. It was
Also,
an
it's
accident.
a deer. Guys, it's a deer. I'm gonna go back to reading my book.
I cannot think of any witty retorts to "it's a deer." I accept the shaming righteous wag of Hila's finger, but I keep the hat.
Do you want to look at the thing that's inside the brim or not?
Yes, I do.
'Cause
I do want to look at
okay.
the thing that's inside the brim.
All right. So inside the brim is sewn like a name. It says property of Jean, and then it says something you can't quite read, as it seems the threads have been pulled out and replaced so many times that it's no longer legible. Please return if found.
Okay. So just can you describe the hat for me one more time?
It is a crushed velvet. It's a purple crushed velvet cavalier hat with a striking white peacock feather, where normally like a peacock feather is green, and then the eye of the peacock feather is still purple as well.
Just for fun, while this is happening, as long as it's gonna be at least 10 minutes. I mean, the deer might leave before I can, but I'm gonna just start ritually casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
Just for.
I'll let you know if it finishes in time or not. It just kind of depends on what else is going on.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, Esperna, you've read what you can inside the hat.
Can I? So there's no last name, just says Jean, and then the threads just
you
kind of
can-
go after that.
Yeah, well, it says property of Jean something, but it's just a mess of where threads have been sewn in and pulled out and sewn in and pulled out, and then after that it says please return if found.
Can anybody mend it?
An excellent idea.
Hila would look to the deer and say, "Are you Jean?"
The deer snorts again.
Is everyone still around the deer?
Well, I think Val and Das have stayed back with the wagon with their horses. And so I'm in my head, what I'm seeing is Esperna holding this magnificent hat, kind of reading the inside of it. I'm guessing to herself, since she didn't say she reads it out loud. And then Hila's looking on scoldingly. And Posh, I don't know what you're currently doing, but I'm assuming you were gonna donate something.
Mm-hmm. I've got a bell in my backpack, which I would like to adorn onto the.
Sure. He'll bow his head and allow you to tie the bell on.
Awesome. While I do that, what would be the most precious looking thing on his antlers?
I mean, you're able to appraise items, correct?
I believe so.
You're proficient.
Is that just which skill is that?
That's insight.
Insight. Yes.
All right, so make an insight check for me, please.
I would still read the name or whatever on the inside out loud.
Okay, well, we'll get there in a second. So, at a glance, the most expensive thing that you can guess is adorning his antlers is like a like gleaming metallic, not quite a choker, but like it would be a very tight necklace that like maybe a noble lady would wear with a very brilliant blue sapphire in the middle.
Such a noble beast. You are so pretty and majestic, and Posh would like to try and sneak the choker off if you can.
Okay, make a sleight of or a thievery check. All right, as Posh attempts to kind of pull an Indiana Jones and swap the bell and necklace, the deer rears up on its hind legs and kicks, letting out an angry grunt. Oh, that's a critical. Just thundering its massive hooves into Posh's chest before turning and galloping off into the forest, dealing.
Oh no.
18 damage.
Hilo
Gonna
would
be like,
help
Posh,
you
what
up
did you do?
and say, "What did I say? Not for us. Not for us. Not for us."
I deserve that. I tried to steal from nature, and nature fucked me.
I would reach out a hand to help you up.
Ugh.
Bearing several fresh dents to his torso.
And can I patch him up at all with a medicine check, or do I need to use a potion?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a medicine check can stabilize and help with like wounds, but you would need to use a potion to actually heal the damage he took.
Okay.
I have blacksmithing tools. Can I hammer out his dents?
Oh, you can buff that right out. Just buff it out.
It's living metal, so.
All right, I would
Goddamn Worf.
slip you a potion
Thank you.
and say, "I shouldn't give you this." But
shouldn't.
She's like smiling.
Thanks. Ball.
So during that entire transaction, Esperna was still holding and had just finished reading the hat. Doss, unfortunately, you did not finish casting your detect magic spell in time.
That's okay. Once it is eventually done, I would just want to check out the hat. The hat, I'm assuming, isn't magical, but I'll look at it.
It is not magic.
Cool. I don't have anything to say about that. I'm just gonna take a look over. Eyes aglow.
Nobody
Back to the
knows
book.
how to mend. All right.
Due to bystander effect, you might have better odds if you actually called your party members out by name, but it doesn't seem like anybody has the ability to mend, at least not magically.
I'm going to see if it fits on Suspiro's head.
The horse is not happy about wearing a hat. Make a animal handling check. Having known the horse as long as you have and having the skill that you do with animals, you're able to convince him that wearing the hat is good for him. So yes, he can wear the hat, though it is a little bit small for a horse.
My jaunty boy, he looks so cute.
Does it provide him any AC?
No. I don't think crushed velvet resists blades or bludgeoning.
Well, I probably wouldn't leave it on his head because it will definitely fall off at some point. So I'll take it back, and I guess, does anybody want to wear it?
Posh does.
Posh, do you want it?
If you don't want it, I'll take it.
Well, let this be a lesson to you. Don't fuck with nature next time, okay?
I will never steal from nature again. Maybe.
How about you just do not steal? Have you considered that option?
Hila
I've got an
pulls
itch
up
that
next.
I cannot scratch.
Pulls up next to Val with her arms crossed and like looking very self-satisfied. Not for us.
I will try. I will try not to. But
Asking him not to steal is like asking you not to be upset about him stealing something.
It feels good. It does feel good.
I hope
So
you
wearing the
know
hat,
It is very good hat.
I'm fully aware.
Oh yeah, it's very out of place on I would say any of you really, but it does seem to fit Posh well. It would probably swallow Esperna, but yeah, you now have an exquisitely fine crushed velvet purple cavalier hat.
Lovely.
I feel like putting it
With
on
a-
Halo would be like putting a pig in a prom dress. Like legit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just look at you guys. I'm just dishing out sweet items all over the place.
Anyone want to
Did-
play Dungeons and Dragons for the next
Did
quadrillion
anybody have any
years?
reaction or response to the message that Esperna read out loud?
We should look for this Jean.
Well,
Or we don't, because then my hat is gone.
You already
No.
have a hat.
This is a good hat, though.
I feel like if this Jean person sees us with the hat, he'll approach us and be like,
All
"Hey,
I'm
that's
saying is
my
if
hat."
we run into a Jean, we should offer him his hat back. He
If
asked
it's the right
so
Jean,
nicely.
yes, for sure. I
It
feel like
is
anybody
very
who
hard
owns
to
a
have to
hat
miss.
this fine would be grateful of its return.
And perhaps offer reward.
Exactly.
And we could make up for stealing.
That too.
Well, with the deer having run off into the woods, having been accosted, the origin of the hat seemingly divined in some sense, and for the most part, the group having done their part, I imagine you guys would want to get back on the road somewhat quickly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
If possible, I would like to be in the cart during this journey so that I can be spending this time just doing some book learning.
Well,
Yeah, I
never
think
you
that's-
fear, because I can hitch that horse up to the back of the wagon.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there wouldn't be any trouble to that whatsoever. So despite having been lifted into the saddle at some point, whilst nose deep in the bark, you will eventually dismount and get into the wagon. This being a great opportunity to do so with the wagon stopped. So
Perfect.
the encounter with the deer, the lotto buck now behind you, or the bounty buck, I guess you could call it.
Big Bucks
You-
Lotto. Sorry.
I think I'd originally named it the bounty buck, but in prep I may have swapped it around. But either way, back on the road, things kind of start to ease back into normalcy. So you leave the influence of the demi-plane behind you and start to kind of get more into that sparse plains that you might expect to find a ranch in. Now, knowing that the ranch is at least a day ahead of you, a day and a half, maybe closer to two, especially with the delay of the demi-plane, it will be some time on the road itself. But it's not long before the influence of, well, let's say the influence of your past is once again felt, as there is a noticeable stench carried in the breeze, and a bit of a lingering foreboding. So I'd like to know how is everybody kind of set up right now? Obviously, Doss is in the wagon. Is everybody else on their horse?
I kind of feel
what's
like
going
me
on
and
there?
Val would be in front. No way.
Who's leading the wagon?
Me.
Okay,
I drive the
So-
wagon.
sure. So with Esperna driving the wagon, Doss riding in the back, sounds like maybe Gila and Val are up front. Posh, where are you? Are you on your horse? Are you in the
Right,
wagon?
yeah.
Are you walking?
On the horse right at the back. Keep an eye out.
Okay.
So that
then,
makes two riding horses hitched to the back of the wagon.
Yes. Posh, would you please give me a perception check?
Sure. Pion.
right. So with no alarm, there is a bit of surprise as the wagon moves through some of the, as I'd mentioned, out of the, out of the woods and into the plains. So as the wagon moves between some upjuttings or craggy outcroppings of rock, Posh fails to notice as the rear scout, as the party is quickly approached and encircled by familiar foes, the Lucrata, as they leap from a nearby area, nearby just like outcropping at the wagon and take a snap at somebody. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to prepare for combat, and I will roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
It's revenge time.
Is it revenge time? Is that what's going on? I need to just upload a little wagon, I think. Use your imaginations this time.
I liked the W's, personally.
Well, I usually use just whatever's convenient, It's a habit from way back in the day. But we'll be doing something similar this time. Oh, that's a cow. I have a cow token. Don't know why, but I do.
I kind of wish our horses were cows now.
All right. So, Posh is the unlucky recipient of the first attack. As this Lucrata here, Lucrata 11, leaps out and snaps at him with its jaws. Posh. And that is a miss, as he is able to quickly duck, getting close to the neck of his horse, and the Lucrata will sail overhead, landing here. And initiative goes. Hila, you are first to act.
That is new. Okay. Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh, you're on a horse. So if you're gonna fight on
I would
horseback,
hop
that's
off of the horse. I would not fight on horseback. Not with a flail.
I believe dismounting takes some of your movement.
Okay.
Let me check. You can mount a creature within 5 feet, mounting, dismounting. Can't mount. Dismount. Where is dismount? Doing so costs an amount of movement equal to half your speed.
Damn. Okay. Well then, 15, 20, 25, 30. That is where I will end up. And that's the end of my turn. Oh, wait, no, I can dash, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
You can charge,
10,
can you not?
15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, I can just make it without... Oh, I should charge, though, shouldn't I? Doesn't a charge have to be in a straight line, though?
At
What
least
does your
10
feet
feet of
say?
It does. 10 feet of it has to be in a straight line.
You
I cannot
have-
make that happen. Not with how much movement I have. So, this is fine. This is fine. I'll wait here. I'll end my turn. This is fine. It's fine.
Posh, you have the initiative.
Okay. Oh, am I by the horse? Yeah. Feeling pretty snazzy in my hat. I'm gonna run on. Ooh, I can get off the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh shit. Yep. No, I said it, so I gotta do it. It's only half my movement, so I can. Shit. Oh, fuck it. Okay. Gonna move up to the Lucrata.
Okay.
And I am. Oh, yep. Just realized something. Okay, I'm gonna use my scimitar and my saber because I haven't gotten that ready, so that's my bad. Scimitar. It's not on a ledge. It's in the middle.
No, it's in
Okay.
between the two. That's correct.
Okay, cool, sweet. I'm just making sure. And I'm gonna swipe at its nose, at its big dumb nose.
All right.
Ooh, gotta... Yeah.
Well, that is a swing and a miss as you swipe the blade at the Lucrata, and it
Okay.
expertly dodges back.
Oof. Bonus action, get the fuck out of there. Gonna go. Ooh, which way? Gonna go to my friends. Down over here.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Valentina, the initiative is yours.
So, what do you need from me to facilitate a drive-by?
Well, when you're mounted, you have two options. You can either control the mount or allow it to act independently. So if you're going to control the horse, I'll have to put it into the combat tracker so that we can actually see what it does. Riding horse. It can attack with its hooves. Where is your attack? Only creature at least one center can serve as a mount. It only has 3 actions. It can dash, disengage, or dodge. A controlled mount can move and act even on the turn that you mount it. Independent mount retains its place in the initiative order. No restriction. It moves and acts as it wishes. It might flee from combat. If the mount provokes an attack of opportunity, it can attack you or the mount. It looks like if you just you have its speed, so you can control the mount and tell it to move, and then you can attack. But if it provokes an attack of opportunity, it can attack you or the mount. Because it doesn't have the feat, and neither do you, that would allow you to make a free drive.
Okay. If I run by and it takes an attack of opportunity at the horse, can I sentinel attack then?
Yeah.
Okay,
think that's
let's do
fine.
that. What is the movement speed of said horse?
It
60?
is 60.
Yeah.
Dang,
So
that's
I'm
pretty
gonna
good.
Swing around this way and pass by Lucrata 11.
Since you're not fighting on your horse, I'm just going to move its token down here. And then if you do dismount, we'll put it in its place. All right, so you're attacking Lucrata 11?
Yes.
Okay. It will make an attack of opportunity, but being an intelligent creature, it's going to choose to attack you over the horse.
What a lame-o.
Well, I think that's what they would do. They're not here to eat the horses. They can eat the horses after they kill you. Osh as a target. And so it's gonna chomp at you, but it you're going too quickly and it just snaps at the air.
Okay. And yeah, I would have driven by, so I'm a bit past it. I didn't know if it would. Do they have the knock prone thing if they land an attack?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's rules for that.
Okay.
Where's your attack? Since you were drive by.
Oh, I thought my action was controlling the horse.
Oh no, you can still attack. Because your action is moving the horse.
Ah, okay. Then hell yeah, I will. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, that is a swing and a miss. Because I don't see anything here that says that you can't attack. Riding my horse, and then I dismount and blah blah blah. If you're riding a normal unintelligent mouse, you can control it so its actions take place in your initiative, or you can let it have its own initiative. 3 actions. It does not get attacks. If you choose not to control the mount is intelligent, it has attacks. There's no stated way between allowing the mount its own initiative. It provokes AOs. You retain all your normal action options while riding. So yeah.
Neat. Okay.
Okay. So you swing, like you both, like it chomps at you and you swing your sword and you both kind of miss wide, almost comically. And then it takes an action. I mean, you're pretty close and it can't see up to see that Gila has run up to attack its companion. So what it's going to do is something similar. It's going to charge past you, attacking along the way. It also misses, but you can take an
Is it
attack of
gonna keep
opportunity if you
moving?
still have your... Yes.
I didn't use my reaction last time, so I definitely will.
Okay. That is a hit.
Oh, I think that's like my first hit since session 1.
So with your longsword, you let out... you're able to react quickly enough to the creature charging past you and
So
are able
with
to slash it.
alternate sentinel, I am forcing it to make a con save.
Okay.
No, I had the button to roll it.
It rolled a 17.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Anything else? Oh no, I guess
It's his turn.
it's initiative. Yeah, that's right. I'm not used to you acting on other things' turns. It's certainly not attacking. Das, you have the initiative.
I'm gonna stand up out of the cart and fire a frostbolt off at that one to the north.
Bolt?
A frostbolt.
Oh. Well, that is a miss. Oh, Ray of
Sure is.
Frost.
A ray of frost, yeah. You know.
I was wondering what the fuck spell you had come up with, and I was like, did I okay this?
You know, I just think of it as the opposite of firebolt, but yes, ray of
Yeah.
frost.
Yeah. So the beam of cold energy. What is this? At the crowd 11. Yeah, that's it. Just maybe hits the dirt in front, leaves a little frost patch.
That is my turn.
Esperna.
Okay, so knowing how mobile and jumpy these guys are, I don't want both of them getting away. So we're coming down closer to where the horses are. So we're going to try to entangle number 2 up there. But I'd like the center of the
Just draw. Use a pointer to draw your
oh,
circle.
you know what? I can use a use a pointer. How do I do it?
Right click and pointers.
Pointers. Square. All right. Whoa, Lord.
And then click and drag.
20 foot, and then there.
Okay. So kind of describe to me what's happening here.
Okay, so I'm going to stand up and do kind of one of these shovey moves. And entangling vines and weeds are going to just rip out of the ground and try to snare and clutch at and hold anything in that square that you're seeing. And so the creature should make a strength saving throw.
You should be able to target it and force it to make that save.
I think I can. Let me do this button. Oh, here we go.
Was your shovey move raising the roof? Is that what I saw?
No, it's with like cringy witchy fingers. It's not this motion. It's more like ah. I'm cool, guys. I'm not lame.
I think you're
Middle
very
fingers.
cool.
Thank you.
Middle fingers.
Is that the right saving throw? Is it set up correctly?
Maybe not. Hi.
Feel like I feel like I asked my spellcasters to make sure that their saving throws are set up correctly.
Was my base. Okay. That proficiency, that looks right.
What is your wisdom modifier?
Oh, it's plus
What is-
4.
Oh yeah, it should definitely be higher than a 10 save
Okay.
then.
I think that looks right.
You didn't set the stat.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. So it's just
Okay.
8
I was
plus.
looking at that.
Like it says 8 plus ability, but you didn't tell it which ability.
My bad, guys. I apologize to
Yeah.
everyone.
So
It's okay.
so it failed. It failed its save. Since
Okay.
that should have been a 14 and not a 10.
Yes. So now it is restrained by the
You can
plants.
add. You should be able to add that effect to it,
Yes.
and then
Which
make sure
is
you add the
this one.
concentration to yourself.
Yes. And concentration on me. Which is this one.
You restrained yourself too.
Good job.
I'm taking restraint off of you.
Thank you. Okay. And then I'll call out to everyone that I'm gonna try and hold it there if we want to try and kill it, but don't go where the vines are. Okay, and that will end my turn.
Hey. Well, with it being restrained in your entangling vines, it's unable to move.
Neener.
Yeah, neener indeed. What, like, can it try to break free? How does the spell work?
So it can use its turn to make another strength saving throw to try to escape.
Okay.
But it has to succeed in order to break free.
Well, will you go ahead and roll that then? Because
Yes,
it does
I will
not
roll
want to be entangled.
Okay.
It does break free. So is it
Fuck.
free to move? Which in the area
Renine.
can use action. It is so it is free, but it's unable to attack now. So it's going to flee from the entanglement as well as Gila. So Gila, if you'd like to make an attack of
Oh, I
opportunity, you may
sure
do so.
would. I'm gonna
Oh,
bap
unless-
ya. Okay.
And we should remember that area is also difficult terrain now too.
Okay. Oh, does it count as difficult terrain?
Yes.
Okay, so that will eat some of its movement, some more of its movement.
I'm gonna hit it with my flail. I should have remembered that I had a dire mace.
Don't you dual wield flails? Don't you have the dual wielder feat for that or whatever?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
Woof.
That is an unfortunate miss with your attack of opportunity. As the Lucrata like surges out from the thorny vines, you weren't exactly expecting it, and so you just kind of like flail your flail and hope for a hit, but are unable to do so. And it's going to, let's see.
Hank Hill sound. Whoa.
Whoa! Run up to the top of the cliff here, snarling down at Valentina. And that's a horse. The horses are going to do what their natural instincts tell them to do, and that's get close to the other horses at the wagon. So, top of the round, Lucrata number 2 gets to act again. And sure enough, it's actually going to leap down at Valentina and try to attack her. It finds that her armor is too tough to penetrate with a bite, but it's also going to kick at her with his hooves with the exact same result, clanging, with no effect against the strong breastplate that she wears. Recognizing this, it's going to flee and perhaps seek better targets. You may make an attack of opportunity.
My turn hasn't come up again. I don't have a reaction.
You're right. Good call. Esperna, you have the initiative.
Man, fuck these guys. I'm so mad. I just wanted revenge. Well, seeing it fleeing, but knowing that we're not really gonna... I don't think we should really pursue it with all these horses in tow. I'm just gonna give it a little fuck you.
I don't know that you would have line of sight to Lucrata too.
Well, if I don't have
11,
line of
yes,
sight, well,
but not
fine
2.
by me. I'm gonna cast a firebolt at it. And
Is it within range?
yeah.
Okay.
60 feet.
Okay. Then yes, just at the tip of the range of firebolt.
Yeah. Well, firebolt has a 120-foot range.
Oh, I thought you were saying that the range of firebolt was 60 feet.
No. That's the distance between me and
Yes.
the Lucrata. I'll probably yell something vulgar at it, like, "Yeah, get out of here, you fat fuck," or something like that.
With another excellent roll from the party tonight, the firebolt, fizzles limply before reaching its
Fuck's
target.
sake, dude. Wolf cooked the dice. It's us versus Wolf.
Posh, you have the initiative.
Okay. Are they so they're retreating or are they fleeing?
Well, they neither mechanically yet. It seems that they might be
Okay.
repositioning.
Okay. Taking a page from Espooner's "Fuck You," Posh is gonna move over here.
Okay.
And hand crossbow, Lucrata 11.
Okay.
He hopes. Gonna aim for his dumb face.
You can certainly try.
Oh.
With
Oh my god.
with an awkward snap, you see that the bolt that you had loaded in may have had a fracture in it, and so
Dang,
it just explodes and like doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Das, the initiative is yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to target Lucrata 11 with another frostbolt. Oh, sweet.
Oh, this ray of frost
Ray of
does
frost.
indeed strike its target.
Okay, so he's gonna take 1 cold damage.
Is happening right now.
And also his speed is reduced by 10 feet until my next turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
then
the
move over here.
the beam of frosty white energy does indeed tickle the Lucrata, and you can see the icicles forming in like its disgusting matted fur, and obviously it will be slowed. So this Lucrata, cackling like a hyena does, no, that doesn't do anything. It's going to call back, perfectly mimicking Esperna's voice, saying, "You fat fuck, like a parrot.
Oh, that's so creepy.
That's really creepy.
Yeah, like a perfect mimicry. And it's
I'm
going
so
to
filled with
dash.
regret.
It's going to dash and appear on the other side. Valentina, the initiative is yours.
Well, that really changed things up there. So the horse's movement would not count against my personal movement, so I can move the horse then dismount?
I think rules as written, yes.
Okay, because my only intention is to come over here, get off the horse, and then
Okay.
take the dodge action.
Where do you do you get where do you get off the horse?
Nah,
Like,
I
do you
just
get
want
off the horse and
horse.
stand there?
I want the
Okay.
horse by the other horse.
Okay. Hila, you have the initiative.
I would call to the party, lure them, and indicate the vines. And I would like to hold an attack. Can I bust out the dire mace and
You would
hold
need
an
to drop
attack?
your flails. You would need to drop your flails in order to be able to draw it, because stowing both of them would take an action. But if you drop them, it's fine, and you can draw the big one.
You can draw the big one for free, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
As long
so
as
I
you
would
drop
put
the other
away
ones.
my flails this turn. Nope, I would
Okay.
not do that. I would not do that. That's stupid. That's really, really fucking dumb. No, I would put away my flails and draw the dire mace. That's what I would do.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I'm not gonna hold an action. I'm just gonna. We're good.
Do you want to move at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because if you wanted, you could stand like here on the edge of the little cliff thing. But
No, I definitely want to be right there.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then, are you finished?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I have to fuck up at least one thing per turn.
Right. Well, we'll get there someday. Val, you seized the initiative.
Unexpected. I was waiting for things to come at me. All right, I'm gonna push up to the front line there,
Okay.
and we won't take the dodge action. Oh, I've double dodged. Will one fall off? It does. Okay.
Esperna, what do you do?
All right. Well, seeing Val push up to keep pressing Lucrata 11 now, I think we'll go ahead and try to take it out. And continue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to Scorching Ray this bitch, which is 3 fireballs instead of 1.
Are you sure you don't want to cast Scorching Bolt?
Pretty sure it's Scorching Ray. It's 1.
That is a hit.
Okay. And then there's 2.
That is a miss.
And numero 3.
That is a hit.
Sweet.
All right, so 2 of the 3 rays find their target, searing and sending the smell of burning hair and flesh into the air. Somehow that ends up being better than the natural rank odor of the Lucrata.
A brief reprieve.
So Lucrata 2 is going to do its best impression of Posh and maybe do a little bit of a sneak. Having disappeared from view, I would need a perception check from Posh, please.
Oh god.
Okay, so just in time you spot it as it leaps again off the cliff. So you're able to avoid the creature gaining advantage on its attack. Gonna land just opposite of you.
Oh. Ooh.
Biting once, that is a hit. Chomps down on your exposed whatever you have, and down goes Posh.
Shit.
Oh fuck.
I told you motherfuckers to lure him. I told you. I told you. You're not motherfuckers. That wasn't nice.
Oh, literally only just thanks to the damage you took from the lotto buck. And then it's gonna laugh in like that cackly hyena laugh and say, "You fat fuck! You fat fuck!"
That legit
Again,
chills me.
I am so sorry, everyone.
It still has movement, so you can see the thorns. It's not gonna move into those. It's gonna posture itself up on the back of the wagon next to Posh. Oh no. Posh critically fails a death saving throw.
Oh no. What can we do?
I
Well,
have to go
he's-
stabilize him.
He's not dead. He's got 2 failed death saves now.
Quick,
He's just
Shit.
Dust, you have the
question.
initiative.
Quick question. Leaping off of this cliff,
Uh-huh.
would that take extra movement? Would I take
No,
damage?
no, jumping is like it's your movement. So not extra movement. It just take however far you can jump. That's how many movement it takes. And I believe you can jump equal to your strength score in distance.
Nice.
Are you gonna jump into the wagon?
Yeah.
But it looks like you'd have to run through the brambles there, which is difficult terrain. So that it'd be tough depending on how you do that.
I would just take one diagonal.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. I was trying to look and say, what diagonal? Diagonal is still, but no, I see it. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to just leap off then, as long as you have a moving start, and it's like up to your strength score. It is about 10 feet, so depending on where you land, you might take some damage
Okay.
because that's the one tall one in the area. But other like it would just be, I think, a D6. Anyway, DOS.
Sorry.
The initiative is yours. Oh, you're fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
quick question. What time of day is it right now?
It's early morning, or it's late morning, I should say.
Okay, so the sun's definitely still in the sky. Cool. Whatever. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna cast Shadow Blade
Okay.
and give myself a blade of magical darkness.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw it at the one that's 10 feet away from me.
Okay. Manifest a shadowy, flickering black blade.
And
Hurl it.
so
That is a hit.
2 hit. Okay. So then he is going to take 8 psychic damage.
Okay. So as the thrown blade doesn't rotate or spin at all, like it just sails in a straight line and just passes into and maybe even through the Lucrata, it's going to let out a shriek, which you can only imagine is likely the shriek of one of its victims because it's all too human.
Oh,
I hate it.
Then I'm going to move over here.
Okay. That's through the wagon, so that'd be difficult terrain.
Yeah. So that's going to be 10, 20, and then take a diagonal to get there. Basically just to try to stand over Posh as best I can. To
Okay.
prevent it, hopefully making myself look like a more appealing target. And that's going to be it for me.
Okay. Right at 11. Once again, faced with the armored husk of Valentina, it wants nothing to do with that because it's not fun. And so it's going to actually, you know what? It's hurt. It's just going to leave. It's going to retreat. So it flees. Does anybody want to pursue?
No.
Oh, it's tempting, but
it is
We have a
really
man
tempting.
down. I'll leave it.
You sure we could?
Keela and I can
Last
probably deal
call.
with this one,
5,
if you guys want to chase
4,
that one down.
3, 2,
Do it, Val. Do it, Val.
1.
Do it. Do it.
We'll deal with it later.
Okay. All right.
Right.
So taking one diagonal. My first diagonal is still only 5 feet, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I can run and leap and land exactly in the back of the wagon here.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. Can I either give Posh a potion from the back of the wagon or hand it off to Doss?
You could hand it to Doss.
But that would be an action, right?
And then it's going to be my
So
action to admit.
first and foremost, your leap.
Mm-hmm.
You have to move 10 feet first in order to leap your strength score.
Yeah, I
Does he
did.
need a running start?
I did. I mean, I guess it depends on how you like look at the hold on here, let me show you. Pointers.
Okay.
Draw arrow. I started right there. Like I started right here, and then
Mhm.
ran. Oh fuck's sake! Ran diagonally. I can't draw another pointer, can I?
You should be able to. There's like a way you can segment the pointer. I don't remember how, but
What if I do this?
Does it have the specific wording that needs to be like a straight line of 10 feet?
let me look.
Well, here's a circle
you
from where you started.
Yeah.
If you move 10 feet is what it says. So it doesn't
And
say.
then and then I ran to
Yeah.
the next. Where?
Like
where...
here.
Just how not good
Is
at
it- is-
fantasy grounds I am.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You're
Okay,
fine.
and then I would have leapt to the back of the wagon, and that's as
Yeah, no,
far
you're-
as I could possibly land, if I understand correctly.
Yes, that is correct. So you
Okay.
can jump up to like whatever your strength score is, but you can still only move 30 feet without dashing.
Right. Oh.
So yeah, you land in the back of the wagon.
5, 10, 15. I would land here, but I would still have a little bit of movement left. Oops.
Yeah,
Not
so
the
the-
W. Not the W, please.
Fine.
So I feel like except for the Lucrata is there, so I wouldn't be able to also get
Yeah.
out. Okay. All right. So where we were, I'm in the back of
Yeah.
the wagon.
Yes. So you could hand Das a potion, but you would not be able to administer one to Posh from the back of the wagon.
Okay. I'm so sorry to eat up your next turn, Das.
Well, wait, hold on. I'm gonna let you reach outside the box here. If you want to try and administer it to Posh, you'll have to make a dexterity check.
Do it,
to
do it,
aim
do
it.
it, do it.
But if you fail, you'll lose the potion and it won't do anything.
I think it's worth it, guys.
I don't
think
know.
it is.
I think
Yo, go big.
So here are our options. Posh rolls high on initiative next turn, he dies.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh.
worried about. That's what
Yeah.
I'm worried about.
All right, fine.
Or
I'll
if
just
I
hand
have
it to
a
Das. I'll
potion.
just hand it to Das.
Well,
I hand
no.
a potion to Das.
Well, if you hand it to Das,
No.
I also have plans for my next turn as well. So hoping that one of the two of us gets higher on initiative.
Yeah, exactly. It doubles our chances unless you're feeling confident about your dexterity.
I have a +1 to Dex.
So yeah, don't do that.
And with the way we've been rolling,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna hand it to Das. I hand a potion to Das.
Okay.
And I have them on my bandolier anyway, on that
Yeah,
bandolier
yeah.
thing. So if anybody rides by me, you can just swipe it.
Except everybody's dismounted.
Oh, fucking golly, you guys.
All right. So if you are finished,
I am finished. I haven't even been able to make a single attack this encounter, by the way.
Oh,
It
no.
was the worst
Oh.
case.
Oh no. The darkest timeline.
please make a death saving throw.
Have to.
Can he hold his action?
Oh shit.
Oh fuck. No. That didn't just happen.
Oh my god.
New character,
No.
Posh's son, poor Freeman.
I just got you a jaunty hat.
Well,
If he hadn't tried to steal from the Bally Buck,
nature fucked me.
did nature fuck you or did you fuck yourself?
I fucked myself.
Oh no.
It's fine. Ugh.
Oh my.
Okay. So,
Even with inspiration, shit, that's so shitty.
So, because I don't want you to sit here if you don't have anything to do, you don't have to stay. But I don't have a way to bring you back into the game.
It's fine. I'll chill and yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You can be
Okay.
a
Hang
ghost
out.
that haunts us
I'll
for the
hang out.
rest.
Yeah. You feel free to hang out. I just don't if you feel bored or that you aren't having fun, you
hell no.
yeah.
No.
Okay, but it's on the table. Anyway, yeah. So Pasha's body convulses You hear the mechanical grinding of gears, and then he goes still.
Oh, what a heartbreaker.
Hila, you have the initiative.
Well, I'm gonna rage. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna rage. She's very sad. She's very sad. I'm gonna swing out at Lucrata too.
Okay.
With my dire mace that I got out 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
22 hit.
22 absolutely hits. And a 15 is a crushing blow to Lucrata too.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay. The Lucrata cackles. And in doing so, or after cackling, will look at Hila, who just swung her mace at it, and it's going to mimic the sound of Pasha's death. And it's going to disengage and run.
I'm gonna chase it.
I'm so upset right now.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna pursue it.
Okay,
It's like-
then make a Constitution athletics check. What's your speed, Doss?
It is 30. But
Okay, so
if that's an issue, something that I want to consider doing is using my phase step as well, if it's going to make a difference.
well, no, because it's the mechanics of it are that it gets a bonus on its roll because it's faster than you.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Being talented with animals, can I jump off the wagon onto one of the untethered horses that the other two dismounted and pursue it?
Make an acrobatics check.
I'm just gonna fall flat on my face.
Yeah, let's say you're on there.
Sweet.
That's a fine roll.
Sweet.
Um,
Okay, so now I can pursue the Lucrata as well.
Yes. I mean, you could have pursued it anyway, but you said your speed is 30, Doss?
Yes.
Espernum, is that your athletics? No, you rolled athletics instead of acrobatics.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What is your acrobatics bonus?
Just +2, so it would be 17.
Yeah, that's still fine. Okay, so now I need you to make an athletics check to pursue.
Athletics this time.
And you're faster, so you actually get a bonus to yours. But unfortunately, both of you failed by 5, so it escapes.
Ah, damn it.
Cool.
Combat seems to be over.
I'm gonna scoop friend out of Pasha's dome
Mm-hmm.
and try to offer him one of the pouches that has seeds in it and see if he goes in, if he
It's a
wants
mouse,
to.
so yeah, totally. It's food.
We should get him in the wagon.
What kind of a mouse is it? Is it a field mouse or is it like a domestic city kind of mouse?
Posh.
Be a city mouse.
A city mouse, so we can't release him into the wild.
I will care for him.
Well, I will help you do that later, because I can speak with animals. But yeah, he'll be fine with you for now, for sure.
I just had my roommate bring me a candle.
I'm gonna swap places with Das and ride in the cart.
Should
Okay.
we like take his body with us?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Yeah,
Yeah,
how
no,
is
his body is
should.
going in the cart.
Okay.
That
I'm
is
gonna
why
send
I am going in the
Wallace-
cart.
I'm gonna send Wallace out to try to find these, or the one who caught us specifically.
they are much faster than Wallace is. By this point, they are gone.
Ah, it's so sad.
I'm pretty bummed. That's D&D,
I-
buddies.
Yeah.
A one on your death save is never
Mhm.
good. And then to go first in the initiative.
Worst
Ugh.
case. Worst case.
Yeah.
That whole encounter was fucking rough.
But not even like because it had to be. Like we just rolled trash.
Yeah, dude.
Bad.
Well, you know, hey, maybe now we got it out of our system. Maybe there's no more bad rolls tonight. Knock on wood.
Like I have looked for some answers. 'Cause I hate it when death happens that way, but there unfortunately there are none. So yeah,
No,
Posh's body is loaded gently into the wagon. Val is gonna ride with him. And are you guys gonna continue on to the ranch?
I mean, kind of feel like we have to. I mean, we we can do a couple of different things. We can, I mean, obviously we're taking Pasha's body with us, but we can discuss either A, you know, burying him here or at the ranch or taking him back to town with us. You know, but we
Well,
did set
Val
out
would
with a
need to-
job.
Need to take him back to the main city, to the House of Justice.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, sure. So, everybody cool with doing the job that we came here for?
I mean, we have to.
Yeah.
We are closer to town than we are to the ranch. But every moment on the road is more risk
Agreed.
of losing another. And not to be crass, but it's not like he's going to rot.
Agreed. Well, if nobody has any objections, it would be nice if, you know, I would probably ask Keela if she would be okay with maybe covering him with one of the tents.
Of course.
Oh, I have something I need to do.
Oh, okay. Well, when you're finished, we can do that. But
I also have, nope, that's covered in snot. Oh, it's not covered in snot because the snot golem gathered up all his snot.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
I could cover him with my winter blanket.
okay, cool. All right, so I think we're good to get on the road.
Okay. Back on the road.
Well,
Still
we're
heading to
traveling.
yeah. So I was gonna say heading toward Kustine Ranch. If there's anything anybody wants to particularly call out, go ahead and take this opportunity.
I'm going to keep an eye out for potion reagents.
Okay.
I'm going to take the time to crush up some silver coins. And then I'm going to spend an hour casting Ceremony. in
As for
order
how
to
you
de-
crush silver, I don't know, but
I've got some blacksmithing tools I can.
I feel like you'd have to like melt them down, but yeah.
Shave them.
And I will take an hour to cast Ceremony to do Funeral Rite.
Okay. You want to, explain that to the class?
You touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target can't become undead by any sort or any means short of a wish spell. It is less about the undead part for a robot, but more about the actual ceremony itself.
Yeah. All right.
Can I ritual cast speak with animals.
Sure.
Cool. And then I'm gonna try to get a little bit of information out of friend. Just
So just to put this in perspective, like ritual casting is a ritual, so you can't do it while you're moving. But if you wanted to stop and take 10 minutes to ritual cast, you could.
I feel like we would take a little bit longer than 10 minutes, having just
Yeah.
lost somebody to kind of
Yeah,
sit and
no,
regain our composure anyway.
That's
sure.
totally fine.
But Gila would tell SB to tell friend that she will make sure that he is fed in seeds for the rest of his days if he chooses to stay with me. Otherwise, I will drop him anywhere he sees fit if he gives me a signal.
Okay.
I will tell friend that. And maybe what I'm hoping is that friend can use this opportunity to tell us a little bit more about Posh and what made him want to live in his eye, and just some cute little things like a eulogy from friend, basically.
Well, Camus, he was your pet.
Yeah, sure. What was the questions? Sorry.
We want
well-
friend to say a few words about Camus.
Yeah, we want friend
Or
to
Camus
say a
about
few
Posh. Oh my
words.
god.
Okay.
That's
He was a good
wonderful.
robot. Okay. He would say that they met when they both were finding themselves. Obviously Posh didn't know this for friend, but what Posh gave friend was solace, and in return the same. In a time that was hard.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Obviously, would friend want to stay with us, or would friend want to, I guess, be released? Or he's been
I
with
think
us on a
Yeah,
couple
friend
adventures now.
friend would want to stay, I'd say.
He would have to live in the wagon.
So no, I hold it. It'll do.
It's
Or
because say
my
nobody's
seed
got an
pouch.
empty eye socket.
Or the seed pouch.
He
Yes,
could
the seed
fully
pouch.
live in my seed pouch and we could share seeds forever.
Yeah, he'd be happy with that.
Cool.
Okay, so friend of the mouse will opt to live in the seed pouch of Gila. This may severely impede her ability to keep and retain seeds, but
I haven't been doing anything with them anyway. Oh, I'm so sad.
You've tried to give them to a few people.
I have given away some seeds, but now I will definitely be paying closer attention to my seed stock.
okay, it will rapidly deplete. Yeah, I think unless there's anything else anybody wants to say or do regarding Posh, then on the road to the ranch it is. All right, we'll take it there. So, for the remainder of your day, you're largely unmolested. There's a bit of wind coming through, but it is a solemn, quiet, somber mood as the group of 5 has been reduced to 4. Where there may have normally been witty banter or perhaps the telling of, retelling of some tales that you've likely all heard before just to pass the time. Now it's just the creaking of the wagon, the occasional whinny of the horses, and the steady clomp clomp of their hooves. But as night begins to fall and the sun passes beyond the horizon, it is the passive perception of Esperna, actually, that notices an alien glint in the fading light that looks quite like a pair of eyes belonging to a large beast, still dogging behind you on the trail.
Is this similar to when we were being dogged in the woods by the Lucrata?
Yes.
So we can probably assume that they're still following us.
What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna try to point out the eyes to the group, first of all, so that they're aware that we're still being followed. We'll probably still be harassed throughout the night like we were before when we were in the woods. We don't know what kind of tactics they'll use this time, because last time they drove a frickin' cow into our camp. So I guess the question remains, do we camp or do we press on to the ranch?
What if we drew them out? What if we made them finish what they started?
So, like, we stop and make ourselves a target.
Yeah.
By acting like we're going to camp.
Well, you're near a creek. If that was the goal, decent place to camp.
And if we get hurt, then we can just camp.
But it was only about a day and a half to actually get there. So if we push through the night, take the exhaustion, and make it to the ranch.
I just don't want to deal with this the whole time, especially while we're grieving.
So I'm hearing push through the night.
I do not want to push through the night.
You
I
don't
want to fight them. I want to kill them.
But we don't know what their numbers might end up being. If they went and pulled more, and then we get completely surrounded, and we're just fucked.
I think pushing through is the smarter thing to do in this instance, even though I do kind of want to fight them. But
like, not even just Doxy. Like, Gila would definitely be like, I'm gonna kill them. I'm going to
Oh
kill
yeah,
them.
no, for sure. Revenge must be had at some point.
If you told Gila that they're following us, then she would, like, turn around and scream at them. Like, she doesn't have control over her, like, anger and sadness right now. She would be like, come fight me then.
So does Esperna mention the eyes?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna let anybody be blindsided if we're being followed.
So when you do say that, you'll see that there is, like, you see one pair of eyes, not too far away, kind of stalking, creeping low in the plains grass.
Based on the perceived distance, do I think I could hit it with a firebolt?
I think that you could shoot one at it, yeah.
Having communicated to the group that it's out there, can I go ahead and do that? Because I'd want to tell people first before I just start going and guns blazing into the grass.
Well, so you're gonna say there's a Lucrata out there. Everybody's gonna turn around and you're gonna fire a firebolt at it.
Yes. This will also help indicate the direction in which the Lucrata is to my party members.
it's there.
It's over there.
He would have both flails out the second you mention it and start just beating on her chest. Legit.
So, in the combat tracker, you should be able to see Lucrata 1. You are targeting it, so go ahead.
I am? Okay. Doesn't look like target. Oh, no, I am. Okay, great. What the fuck?
So you point it out to the group, point your finger, perform whatever actions you need to launch your firebolt. And as it leaves your finger, like just the feelings of your grief over the loss of your party member, you lose your concentration and it just kind of fizzles out.
Well,
You can see that as you pointed at it, though, that it hunkered down further into the grass.
well, I'm in bad shape, apparently. I do want revenge, and I sympathize with Gila there, but I also think maybe the longer we're out here, the more we put ourselves at risk, and we should probably push through the night. If we can.
All right, so the creek that you're up to doesn't appear to have a bridge, and the like maybe it did at one point in time because you can see like kind of the remnants of an overgrown fence. So like maybe it was the ranchers who put this here. You're not really sure because you also aren't exactly sure how far you are from the ranch, having never been there before. But you're definitely faced with a little bit of an obstacle of you have an active creek in front of you, and you'll have to move the wagon across. How do you guys want to approach that?
How wide is it?
About 20 feet. The water itself is maybe only about 10 feet, though. Not like rushing. It's not a river.
Yeah.
This is a situation where probably somebody takes one of the riding horses and goes first to kind of test the creek bottom and make sure how deep it is before we take the wagon through.
I should probably not be that person because if the wagon needs lifted, I'm one of the only people strong enough that can. Also, Val would probably want to not be that person.
Mostly because armor. I imagine. Don't really.
Well, I would want to hold up the rear in case we are getting into combat if they take this opportunity.
I'll do it. I'll go across. That's fine.
Dallas is going to ride his horse across. Give me an athletics check. What are we doing with ride? Is ride athletics or handle animal? Let me see. I think either one can be argued, but I typed out skills. Animal handling. Yeah, so make an animal handling. Are you proficient?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, wait, I can give him a guidance boop beforehand.
Please do.
Yeah.
Boop. You can add a D4 to your roll.
Great. So it is a 5.
All right. So with a 5, as you get into the creek, the horse is spooked by something, and you're unable to maintain your balance on it as you are tossed into the creek. You'll find that it is only just like as you're tossed into it, it only just covers you, so you can sit up and you're fine. But it's a real thick mud, and you probably come up sputtering and gross, and it's kind of like a slow moving creek, so it smells disgusting.
That's gonna be a prestidigitation.
But the horse has pinned its ears and quickly bolted back to the wagon.
Okay.
But everybody can kind of see that it's like maybe knee deep.
Okay. I'm gonna just start slowly creeping back towards the wagon.
I would offer
Sure.
a hand once he was close enough to pull
Sure.
him out.
Yeah, I'll take it. And then cast prestidigitation on my hand again. And then I'll say to the group, something spooked the horses. I mean, I'm no expert rider, but I suspect there is something waiting to ambush us.
On the other side of the creek, you think?
I don't know. I
Then
don't
we
see
camp
anything.
on this side. We camp
send
on
out
this side
Wallace?
and we wait.
Can I send out Wallace to look around with his echolocation to see if he
Sure.
sees anything? And also, what I might as well do, I'll use my action to basically turn off my eyes and see through his eyes too, and see through his senses, so he doesn't even have to communicate it to me. I can just see what he sees.
Perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within without which is the echolocation. Yeah, make a perception check. Add advantage.
Okay. It's gonna be a big fat 11. Although I don't know what his modifier is, but as a bat.
Okay. So Wallace is going to telepathically communicate to you that there is a creature waiting across the river.
Okay. What does it look
A
like?
large creature. Well, it
Okay.
echolocated. So
So he can just tell there's a large creature. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
What does it sound like? Yeah, okay, cool. I will just convey that to all you guys. Just look around and say yes. It is on the other side of the river. It's hard to see.
Creek, we should
of
say.
course. Creek. But it's something large. I suspect it might be one of the Lacrata.
I'm going to go ahead and just share the screen so you can see kind of what we're looking at here. Susanna, you're muted.
Suddenly camping on this side of the creek sounds a lot better than it did.
Well, roughly, yeah, so just like on the opposite end, kind of between those two trees there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that general area? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to happily camp.
I agree that we're not going to be able to happily camp, but I think that we're certainly not going to be able to survivefully cross.
Oh, we're definitely not crossing. Right now without fighting. We can wait on this side, and I can use Wallace's senses to detect where it is and just start hurling firebolts at it until it comes to us.
So it can't ambush us.
I would love to, if I could, take this opportunity to get in front of people.
Yeah, you can move yourself.
I would just kind of on the bank here if I could.
Sure. Yeah, that part is dry. You can see where the water is on the map, and that's where it's very difficult terrain.
It's actually tough for me because with how OBS has to be set up, that's right in the crack of my monitors. Like the maps have to be split between my two monitors, so and that's right where it happened.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
this is a narrow map.
Actually, you know what? I could maybe, if as long as chat's okay with it being off center. I know that it might drive some people crazy, but I can see most of the map like this.
You can also scroll or zoom in and move. If you middle click, you can move the map around.
Okay.
Quick point of order. Gila, are you still mounted or are you unmounted?
I would have been unmounted by now. I'm not gonna fight on a horse with the weapons that I have.
All right. Well, if we're preparing to fight, I'm gonna start tethering horses to the wagon.
That's a good idea.
Because we've got 3 already: mine, Posh's, and Val's. So if you're not mounted and Das is not mounted,
I'm
that's
definitely not mounted.
So that's 2 more. So I'm just gonna start. Nobody's bolting.
Either that or they're gonna pull the wagon apart. Our fucking dead comrade's corpse flying in the air.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right, so am I correct in assuming that you guys are making it look like you're setting up camp?
Yes.
Yeah, we're trying to attract combat here.
Are you setting up camp?
No, not.
I think
genuinely.
Go ahead.
I think not genuinely are we setting up
So
camp.
Let me rephrase this question. Is this a performance check or are you setting up camp?
I guess it would be more like performance because we're just wanting to make it look like we're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Without actually, like, we still want to have our our senses paying attention and looking around and
Yeah.
having our weapons handy and things like that, right?
Okay, then yeah, everybody give me a performance check.
With what skill?
Yeah, I would be.
You know what? In this case, I think wisdom.
I don't know if it changes at all, Wolf.
Mhm.
But I would be like pretending to guard while I mean, I guess I would be actually guarding, but I would be pretending to guard while they set up camp.
Sure.
In quotes.
The reason I'm asking all of this is because we firmly established at this point that Lucrata are intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that even as players, you're as characters, you would have figured that out by now.
Right.
So that's why I'm asking. So
I just
really,
wanted to know if you wanted me to change anything about the role based on.
No.
Oops, sorry.
No,
what I was
no,
doing.
no.
Okay.
No. Still, because you're still going through the motions of setting up camp. All right. So the group as a whole makes a successful pass here. So then one perception check from each of you, please.
A perception, you said?
Yes.
Appropriate.
Hila and Val will spot both Lucrata as they approach, doing their best to remain stealthy. And I will go ahead and there is no surprise round, so I will roll the initiatives and we're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break.
Oh, fucker. You're not a fucker. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Chat room, we'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, everybody stretch your legs, grab a drink, do what you need to do. I'll be back in 10. So that would be 36.
Prepare for revenge!
Pouring out
Absolutely.
for Posh.
Okay.
I'm probably just gonna do straight wizard.
Cool. All right, so
Spell slots.
everybody back from their break. I think we were having a fun little discussion about what we could do with our characters later on.
Assuming we don't die in this fight.
Assuming you don't die in this
possible.
fight, of course.
Yeah.
Well, so before the fight begins, I just like I was talking to Susanna about this during the break, and it is just a comedy of like bad decisions into bad rolls, and that's how you get death in D&D is bad decisions into bad rolls. Like I never enjoy what when it feels like a cheap character death, and sometimes the dice are just like, no, you're dead. But not to rub salt in the wound, it's just like not healing after getting kicked by the deer strikes me as odd.
Oh yeah, do I get that
but
potion back?
It's
Oh,
on me. It is.
I put it in my inventory. Do you want it back?
No. I gave him a potion that he did not use.
Okay.
Yes.
I was talking about the one that you gave me. To
We
give to him.
we will have to divvy up his entire inventory.
Yeah, it seems a little soon to loot the body in character.
well,
out of
well,
character, absolutely.
technically his entire inventory does belong to the House of Justice.
Ah,
Alright.
fudge.
Even as a unmarked or
Well,
blank.
yeah, because you still
I'm
are
still-
the houses.
yeah.
You're just unofficial. You're off the books.
Would Val be mad if we?
Oh, 100%.
I anyway, but let's go ahead and jump into this vengeance quest here. So as you know, as we had mentioned before, the sun is just setting. You've got a little bit of those like late fall crickets chirping, but suddenly all of that noise stops, and both Gila and Val are able to spot the two pairs of eyes quickly approaching the false camp setup of the group. I'm actually going to move your wagon because you guys wouldn't have set camp up so close. So that's going to be over here. And then I had another W for the rest of the wagon, but it must have disappeared. So, all right. So the wagon is set up over there. I guess I should also pull out. They're large technically, but whatever. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I wouldn't be inside a horse then.
Right. No, understandably. All right. So, where you are now, we've rolled initiative. Das, you're first to act.
So I can't see them.
No, you didn't see them. That's correct. You were told they're coming. Actually, you know what? Make an active perception check. Oh no, you already did, didn't you? And you rolled a 1.
I rolled when you got called for it, yeah, so I can't see.
Yeah. So no, you don't see them yet. You just know that they're coming.
Okay.
We're all coming.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll do that. Just for fun. I'm gonna cast Shadow Blade again. Wait, quick question. Is it dim
Quick
light
answer?
now? Or is the sun still high enough?
Yes. No. It's
Got it.
dim light now.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna cast Shadow Blade.
Okay, I just
And
want to
then
make sure
I-
that you're not being willy-nilly with your spell slots, but Shadow Blade. Good.
And then I'm going to use my action to prepare to throw the Shadow Blade at the first Lucrata that I see as a valid target.
Okay.
And that's my turn. I'm gonna stay where I am.
Pass turn, please.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Esperna, you have the initiative. You also did not see the Lucrata, but you know they're coming.
Can I turn around to try to see them?
You did that when you rolled your perception check.
Oh, so I still can't see them, huh?
Correct.
Can I hold my action?
I mean, that's what Das is doing, but what is the action and what is the trigger?
I'd like to hold my action until, let's see, I'm next to Val and Das. I'd like to hold my action if something comes within 5 feet of Val and me, or 5 feet of the horses, which are off to the left of me, and I will hold. Fuck it, I'll hold a Scorching Ray.
Okay. So you're going to cast Scorching Ray if a Lucrata comes within 5 feet of you, Val, or the horses.
Yes.
I think if you prepare a spell like that, it fizzles if the action doesn't go off. Like it still consumes the spell slot.
Oh, so maybe it would be smarter to use a cantrip then.
Or to have a broader trigger.
Well, can we make the trigger 5 feet of any party members in the horses? Like I can clearly see Dal and, or excuse me, Das and Gila.
So I could also, you could just also use the trigger that Das used when you see a Lucrata.
Oh. Well, fair enough then.
Okay. So when you see a Lucrata, you will cast Firebolt at all, like I'm guessing all three. But,
Scorching Ray, but yes.
Yes, Scorching Ray.
Yes.
Scorching Bolt.
Scorching Bolt. Fire Ray. Yes.
Actually, the world is Aliord, Doxy, but the
I always
continent
do
you guys
that.
are on
You're right.
it's all right. There should be a map link somewhere, but anyway, Lucrata 2, so the one that's across the creek bread, is going to sneak out. So it is suddenly, it suddenly appears as it's charging across the bed, and it's going to attempt to attack Gila because she's the closest thing it can see.
I assume this triggers my...
Yes, both you and Esperna, as it leaves cover and thus is no longer hidden.
Nice.
That is a hit.
It's going to be 11 psychic damage.
And Esperna?
Okay.
That is a miss. That is a hit. And that is a hit. Okay. So the creature bursts from the shaggy little tree there at the creek side, leaps into the creek in an attempt to snap at Gila, and before it can even close its jaws, it is like impaled by a blade of psychic shadow and then burned by two just like fiery blasts that pierce between Gila and Das. The creature is still alive, but severely wounded by the attacks. However, it's not stopped and does still try to both kick at and chomp Gila with the thick, sticky mud of the creek still on its hooves as it flings them through the air as it raises up to attack her. The bite hits, dealing 7 damage. And the hooves are a miss, perhaps so caked in mud that they swing heavily and awkwardly. The second Lucrata will also take this opportunity to pounce. Upon seeing Val, it stops for a moment and cackles out, "You fat bitch!" and then is going to attempt to attack Esperna.
I'm assuming that cackle was not in my voice this time.
If it hasn't heard you laugh, then no. It would be in some its own hyena cackle, but the fat bitch is in your voice.
Why would it be in my voice when I did not say fat bitch?
Or whatever you called it. I don't even remember. We took a break and I forgot everything.
Distinctly fat fuck, because the alliteration is fun.
Yes, that is a better, fat fuck. Thank you.
Is that a hit?
That is a hit on Esperna.
I will use Vigilant Guardian. Swap places with Esperna and take the hit for her.
Oh,
okay.
Shit. Thank you.
It is 9 damage. Now it's going to kick at Esperna with its hooves. But that is a miss, as the creature aims a bit high, especially given the position swap. So Valentina quickly ducks to the side, pulling Esperna into her place.
So it says I take the attack instead, not the damage instead. Would that have still hit my AC?
You said take the attack, so I misunderstood. What is your AC?
19.
Yes, it would have.
Okay.
So the Lucrata finally finds out that you aren't an impenetrable wall of metal, and is able to chomp down and find some purchase. But Esperna avoids the hooves. Valentina, the initiative is yours.
All right, time to blow some abilities. So I will channel divinity. And I'm going to, this is a bonus action as well, slam my shield into the ground as chains come out from the point that it hit and try and get these Lucrata to attack me.
That is 1 failure on 2 and a success from 11.
So this should just apply to who it should apply to.
Yes.
And that was bonus action. And because Lucrata 11 is nonplussed by that, I am actually going to swing at it.
That is a hit.
2 hits in 1 session.
I know.
That was a little weak sauce, though.
A solid strike from Valentina's longsword. Hila, you have the initiative.
I am going to draw my dire mace and attack Lucrata 2.
So I'm going to point this out from a mechanical standpoint. If you are using your flails, you do get 2 attacks.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay, that's
Only
fine.
one ever works out anyway.
So, okay, you already attacked.
That is a hit.
So here
Sorry.
was the thing with Champions Challenge. If it takes any damage from anyone other than me, the effect falls off of them.
That was the one that failed on it, though, wasn't it?
No.
No, that was the one.
2
that
is the
succeeded.
one that succeeded.
Sorry.
I tried
I'm
to get it
very
before you
sorry.
rolled.
I feel bad. But that's the damage, and I will end my turn.
A solid strike knocks the senses back into Lucrata 2, but knocks probably some other bits of it out. You can hear the cracking of its ribs where the dire mace smashes into it. I think we were at top of the round. The Lucrata act first. It's going to reposition to more easily be able to attack Esperna. Smaller and softer target. And try to bite her again.
I'm going to use my reaction for Sentinel.
Okay. What
I
does that
don't
allow
like
you to
it.
do?
Allows me to take a swing at it and miss. Could only keep the
Yeah.
streak up for so long.
Deals 7 damage to Esperna. And the hooves miss again. The Lucrata 2, no longer compelled, magically or otherwise, spiritually, to do battle with the paladin Valentina, is instead going to take a moment to collect itself, realize that it just got that absolute snot clobbered out of it, and is going to attempt to make a kicking retreat, disengaging and attacking Hila once with its food. A monstrous critical hit. 14 damage to the barbarian. Using its disengage. Move across the river so that it can be positioned to flee. Valentina, you have the initiative.
Oh, how much do I want to blow in this one combat encounter? I'm real concerned it's going to try and also turn tail. Okay, I'm going to try and shove it to knock it prone.
Okay. The contested athletics check, is it not?
Yes.
Oh wow, you absolutely demolished it. You beat its roll by almost 10.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely, it is prone.
Can they take attacks of opportunity while prone?
Yeah, there's nothing that says they can't. Like if
Okay.
you're in range of it,
Yeah,
it would
'cause-
just be at disadvantage.
Yeah, well, because if a Spurna tries to attack from that close with a spell,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
going to be. Or no, it's going to be disadvantage
No.
anyway because it's prone.
Right.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Berna, the initiative is yours.
So you could big brain play it here because I just had my turn. I have my reaction back. If you back up, take an attack of opportunity at disadvantage, I can take my sentinel reaction attack at advantage.
That's pretty big brain
That is
because I was actually
huge
trying to
brain.
think about attacking the crowd 2 down there since it's trying to flee and we don't want it to get away. We want
I
to
think
have a little
we-
revenge here.
We can probably keep up with it. What did you want to
So,
do?
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I just said we can probably manage to get that between the two of us, but do what you want to do. No worries.
I have big plans.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll do
Jeez.
big brain. It'll be big brain time. I'll back up a few
So you're
feet.
gonna take an attack of opportunity from the crowd
Yes.
11.
Hey,
Kicks out at you. Wow. Okay, it misses.
So then I'll take my advantage sentinel attack. I'm so hard trying to fish for a smite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that is a miss as well.
how sad.
All right. Well,
Now you can do whatever you wanted to do with Spurna. You can target 11 or 2. Doesn't matter. But 11 is on the ground, so if you attack it with a ranged attack, it's at disadvantage.
shit, really?
Yeah, it's prone.
Fuck. All right. Well, because I was up close. I could have used Shillelagh. I think I moved too far to get back.
Yeah, you moved 20 feet.
I moved too far. All right, sorry guys. I'm gonna have to attack number 2.
Do what you gotta.
I think. Hopefully that doesn't mess up y'all's plans too much.
I was assuming that Gila and Das were going to go wail on the one that's on the ground.
Yeah, the ranged
Oh,
people can take care of too. I can fully.
coolsies.
Go for it.
Okay.
That is a hit. Dealing 5 damage with your fire ray.
Cool. And fuck it. As a bonus action, I'll go ahead and cast my Shillelagh on my quarterstaff. Just in
But you
case.
but you can't because you already cast a cantrip. Oh no, you can cast 2 cantrips. That's fine. Never mind. It's leveled spell, and you can't cast 2 of.
Shit's sake.
Das, you have the initiative.
Okay, here's a quick mechanics question for you. I know this is an important question because it'll probably come up in the future. I Shadow Blade, I'm presuming is still stuck in the creature.
Yeah, I presume so. Yeah.
Cool. If I want to pull it out, is that going to cost an action, or is that like my item interaction to draw the sword out of it, or?
Don't you have to like resummon it as a bonus action or something?
I can do that from a distance. I'm just asking that if I walk up to it, am I able to do that without using my bonus action?
Let me see. Shadow Blade.
Because then at that point, it's kind of just would be treated like pulling a weapon.
No, if you drop the weapon or throw it, it dissipates at the end of the turn.
Oh, it does dissipate. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
In that case, that answers my question. The 2 tiles here in the middle with the water going through them are difficult terrain, I presume?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go 5, 15, 25, take my diagonal for 30, which will put me adjacent to this boy. I'm going to use my bonus action to resummon my Shadow Blade, and then I'm going to just attack him with a melee attack.
Okay. That is a hit.
Cool. So literally what I'm doing here is I just go to swing with my arm as if there's a sword in it, and like midway through the downstroke, the sword just appears.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
And he takes
Yeah, that's
7
sexy.
psychic damage.
Brought it 2. Yeah, okay.
And that is my turn.
Hila, the initiative is yours.
All right. Why come at no do? There we go.
Oh, you're gonna charge it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna charge it. The one that's down.
Yeah.
So that gives me advantage, right? No way?
You have advantage because it's prone.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Once I figure out how to work this character sheet that I have been using for several weeks now. Alright. Let's charge this bad boy.
Yeah, just because you'll have to move. I mean, that's a big rock.
You are correct.
So like if you moved here and then charged up,
Sure.
you'd be fine.
That'll do.
That is a hit. That is 20 damage thanks to Charger.
Sick.
So add 5 more to it. All right. So Hila, with I'm guessing some sort of battle cry, is going to position herself, dig her toes into the dirt, and then rush forward, just swinging this big fucking mace overhead, which just thunks into the down Lucrata. And as she pulls it away, you can see like the exposed bone and muscle from where it just impacted. Anything else?
That'll do it.
All right. Top of the round, Hila seizes the initiative.
All right. So does it cost advantage or anything to swing for its neck? Like specifically for its neck?
I don't allow called shots.
Okay.
But if you kill it outright, we can say that's what happened, because the moment I allow called shots, the monsters can also do them, and then
Okay.
it just becomes unfun.
Okay. Damn it. Okay, well, still 13 damage. I'll take it.
Yeah. Wait, why 13?
Because oh, I'm not charging this time. It's only 8. My bad. Never mind.
Okay. That is a horse. This is a down Lucrata, which is going to stand up and try to get away.
I will pursue.
Okay. Anybody else?
Pursuing as well. Yeah, they're not running this time.
Right. Make your Constitution athletics checks.
What the fuck?
So Hila can no longer pursue, but Val, you get to make another one with advantage. Because you succeeded, but not by enough.
Double
Okay.
19s.
Yeah. Val will catch it. So you're going to re-enter initiative with Lucrata 11. Lucrata 2 is also going to attempt to flee. I think Doss is the only one positioned to pursue.
I
Yeah.
can't pursue it.
You'd have to go through difficult terrain, so you can, but I'm going to impose a penalty on your check.
Okay. I'll do it anyway. I'm hyped up.
Also, I would like to use my inspiration on this roll.
Oh, did somebody give you inspiration?
I thought I had one from a while ago. I had it marked, but I could
Oh,
have done that.
it's use it or lose it. So if you don't use it
Okay.
by the end of the session, it's gone.
Then never mind.
Which is why I encourage you guys to give inspiration to one another, once per session.
I was fully going to give one to Val for chasing down the other one. For catching it when I could not.
Okay. So go ahead and make your Constitution check, please, Das and Esperna,
Hell yeah.
or athletics, I should say. Even with the penalty, okay, and then Das. So Esperna's gonna catch it. Das, you can go ahead and make another check.
I'm gonna whack
Just
it with
like
a
regular?
stick.
No advantage because you
Advantage.
succeeded, but not by 5.
Okay.
Right. Technically, you could make another one, but I'm gonna let Esperna have her attack first. So Esperna and Val, you're gonna re-enter initiative. So I'm gonna re-roll the initiative here. Not Das. The Lucrata act first, so it's going to attack Esperna, who has caught up to it. That is a miss. Then it's going to attack with its hooves. That is a hit. Deals 10 damage to Esperna, turning and kicking at her with its powerful, basically like horse feet. Disgusting creatures. And it's like as it kind of turns and looks at her, it's also going to just once again mimic Pasha's death rattle,
Oh.
mocking her. Val, you have the initiative.
All right, we're going all out here, so we are going to swing and then bash it with the shield afterwards.
Okay. That
I'm gonna
is
use my inspiration.
okay.
No.
Well,
Oh my god.
after sprinting so hard to catch up to the creature, you swing the blade and it just kind of slips in your grasp and just so it turns. So instead of slashing the creature, you just kind of slap it with the flat of the blade.
All right, well then I'm gonna slap it with my shield too.
That is a hit.
And I am so pissed at it, I am going to blow smite.
Okay. It's dead. So the shield makes contact and you just channel the fury of your house and the deity that it represents. You are Justice, so that I believe is Bulgor, is that right?
I don't have the spreadsheet up.
Well, I would expect you to know your own deity
Yeah, I
without needing
probably
this.
should.
I know mine.
Let's
It's
see.
pale. Did I do good? Did I do good,
You did
GM
do
Daddy?
good. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, the Justice is Bulgor. So his symbol is like a black and white elephant head with golden tusks. So just like there's this moment where it's like the trumpeting of an angry bull elephant and just a blinding white light, and then what is left is just fur and sinew and smoldering, because it's an evil creature, and so the divine justice of a smite just absolutely obliterates it.
Was it an
Did you have-
undead or fiend?
Yeah, no, it's not an undead or fiend. I'm just
Okay.
your deity is lawful good, and it's a very evil creature. So I'm adding some flavor.
I was just wondering if I should have gotten an extra D8 for
I'll tell you now,
rubbing in more.
it really wouldn't have mattered.
Would the 3+2 have killed it?
Yeah,
Okay, it's still worth.
it would have died no matter what you rolled.
Okay.
Are you finished? And that's a dead creature. Esperna, you've caught up to the creature. It's swung around and attacked you, but you have the initiative.
I'm
Also,
gonna
if you
hit
don't
it-
want to be, yeah, or go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna hit it with a stick.
A magic stick.
A magic stick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm technically speaking, I'm going to hit it with my shillelagh, which is my quarterstaff.
Right.
So, whack.
That is a hit.
Yes. Son son of a bitch.
It's
Yeah.
also dead.
Fuck yeah, guys.
Both Lucrata slain outright.
What
One
the
of them is a
fuck?
smoldering pile of guts. The other one has been whacked so thoroughly by the magic stick that its skull split open. And it falls limp to the ground, lifeless. This thus ends combat and likely the terror of the two Lucrata that have been dogging you since Pond Frog.
Can I spit on the ground? I'm just gonna go
You can spit wherever you want to spit.
to shame the Lucrata. I spit in anger.
Free action.
Take any number of actions to spit as you are not in combat.
I'd call that probably a bonus action. I think you can wield a weapon and spit at the same time.
I wouldn't even call it a bonus action. I think that's it's like speaking, you know. However much spitting you can do in 6 seconds, you can do that once per turn.
Well, I'm
lot of
probably
spitting.
only gonna spit the once, not just to go.
Either way, the creature's death is punctuated by the spit. Das, it's around this time that you would probably arrive in your pursuit.
Cool. Nice turn around and leave.
I know that you all find it gross, but we should bring them as well. If one hoof is worth a pound of that butter, think of what we could get for all these remains.
Well, one of them is kind of irrecoverable
Okay.
due to Bulgor's justice. But the other one, yeah, you could certainly make some trophy attempts at it. I even
I think I would
have a
just bring
handy.
the whole carcass.
Where did it go?
Who's spinning the horse?
Maybe Camus?
That horse just walks backwards.
Man, Moo is acting really weird.
I'm trying to learn how to drift.
Oh, okay. I didn't lose it. I was intelligent and put this in the OneNote. So Doxy, I had mentioned this last time as a feature that I thought you would enjoy, but I have acquired the Monster Harvester's Handbook.
Greetings.
Nice.
It's
So
a
I now
pleasure
have
to meet you.
a parts list for various creatures,
That's-
and including the difficulty to harvest said parts.
And normally, I'm going to be very excited about that when I'm harvesting creatures, but I really want to take the entire carcass if it's possible. this
Oh
time.
yeah, but so you're just wanting to just bring the body with you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
We could
That's
strap
even-
it
that's
up
easier.
on the bottom side of the wagon if the party has a problem with it. We have a shitload of rope.
A lot of work.
Well, can we fit it in the wagon? Probably not. We probably can't fit it in the wagon.
Probably
It
not
would
with
take up
Posh in
the
there
entirety of the wagon.
and all of
They're
our
big.
shit,
They're
yeah.
big creatures.
Well, would anybody be opposed to throwing Posh over the back of one of the horses and then putting the
I
Lucrata
thought
in
you
the
were just gonna
wagon?
say throw them out.
No, not throw him out. Just like a dead body over the back of a horse with, you know,
Let's just
honorably
weekends
draped
at Bernie's
with
him.
Just put them up on the seat in front. You can
This
tie
is
them down.
horrible.
just upright. Just
I don't like that.
the,
I don't like that
my
one
only
bit.
concern is whether or not the carcass of the Lucrata will be damaged if we drag it.
I'm not saying we drag it. I'm saying we strap it up against the bottom of the wagon.
Oh, you mean like,
Yeah.
Keel
like
haul.
slung up underneath?
She wants to keel haul the Lucrata.
Yes.
Will it fit under
With minimal clearance.
there? Mm.
I'm fine with hacking it in half if need be.
Well, it's less that. It's just like this is a horse-sized creature,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you use much of your rope to lash this thing to the underside of your wagon, it will be there, but there won't be much clearance between it and the ground.
Okay, what about to the side of the wagon?
And then
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you
gonna
could-
tip over.
It is basically a horse. It would be more likely to tip in the event that you needed to go quickly, but I don't think it's just going to tip. I mean, we can Witcher trophy this shit. I don't want to turn this into a logistics puzzle. I think lashing it to the side is fine. Just be aware that if there is a chase, then I will take that into account.
Great. Let's do that.
Okay. So, Posh still resting in the back of the wagon along with the various goods, the Lucrata trophy body corpse lashed to the side, the other one
Can
a
we just make
smoldering
sure
mess.
to push Posh to the opposite end of the Lucrata for counterbalance?
Sure, yeah.
I also have no problem hacking it in half. Really.
I
It'll
it
take
doesn't
me
seem
like
there's
2
a reason
swings.
to.
Dude, if you thought that a tauntaun smelled bad, this thing is gonna be horrible if we cut it open. I'd really rather
It's-
not cut it open if we can avoid it.
They smell like
Also,
death
you-
when they're alive.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that it doesn't bother Gila.
Fair
Also,
enough.
you say hacking it in half. Don't you have a giant hammer?
I have
And
flails.
2
I
flails.
have hand axes.
Yeah, she's
Okay, the
got hand axes
maybe.
technically.
I just had a
but-
visual of you mashing the center of it with that giant hammer until it's like pulped enough that you can just pull it in half, which I'm
No.
not here for. So
No.
It's like cutting your steak with a spoon.
yeah, you can do it. It's just gonna be fucking disgusting
Gross.
on
Well, if
every
we're-
level.
If we're trying to salvage as much of the body as possible, if we don't cut it open, then its guts aren't gonna like
Yeah.
gloop out all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. Also, as you're lashing the creature to the wagon, each of you with your passive perception will notice a large shadow just barely cast by the fading sunlight, which does seem to fly overhead. But as you look up, you don't spot any, or you can only see just like the shadow of a large creature way up in the sky.
That's not foreboding at all.
If only we had a flying creature that could look at it.
If only. Yeah, I'm not sending Wallace up there. Fuck that noise. He's gonna stay right where he is.
Wallace agrees.
Does it look more feathery or leathery from here?
Make an active perception check. At disadvantage because it's dark. Or do you have dark vision?
Yeah,
on
I
he's
you?
have
an
dark
elf.
vision. I have dark vision.
Then make a perception check.
Cool.
Oh wait, how far is your dark vision?
I don't know, it's like 120 feet, so we'll say probably disadvantage.
Isn't
No,
it
it's 60
60?
feet. It's 60.
Yeah,
It's
so
only
that would
120
still be
for a drow.
disadvantage.
All right, well, let's see if I can do worse than a 7. Cool.
No, unfortunately, no, you can't do worse than a 7. No, so at this distance, you can't tell. It's just you're not even sure how far up it is, but it's a creature with a large enough wingspan to cast a shadow that covers the entire wagon.
Would I know if there are like which cast of creatures, or if there are creatures like that that might be native to this area?
Yeah, we can let's see. What skill is this creature tied to? Make an Arcana check.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's see,
15. That's solid. Where you are, it is rare, but occasionally around this time of year, the wyverns will descend from the mountains to hunt.
Cool.
Baller.
I'm just gonna literally like this is all happening internally while I'm just staring at the sky trying to like make out what this is. After like
the other options that would apply, if you will, there could be manticores, and there are a few large birds of prey. But obviously, the largest risk would likely be a wyvern.
I'm just gonna stare up at the sky for like 30 seconds, and then just look down at the group and say, "We should cover the wagons tonight, and the horses probably, and us. Just anything you don't want to be eaten, really."
Is there a reason why you would say such a foreboding statement?
I mean, yeah, this is peak hunting season for the wyverns, but I mean, there's all kinds of other dangerous stuff that lives around here anyways. But if I were to make an educated guess, which I've never made an uneducated guess, I would say that the wyverns may pose somewhat of a threat, given the time of year.
Well, hopefully
mean,
they'll be satisfied with this other body that we've left for them.
Yeah, with your intelligence, you could likely easily piece together that you guys are a day or so from a large Gorgon ranch, which, I mean, that's just good eats.
Yeah.
There are other, you've just created what I described as like a nature magnet, which is pulling in all kinds of creatures. So yeah, I mean, even though this, like you said, prime hunting season, but it's really more of like, this is an opportunity to gorge a little bit before winter. So not prime hunting season, but like desperate hunting season.
Perhaps.
Which is way worse.
Yeah.
Perhaps we traveled down creek a little while.
I think that's wise. We don't even have to travel that long. If we just take half an hour to distance ourselves from that corpse a little bit.
And I'm happy to gather mud and leaves on the way. We will just have to travel slower, because I will not be able to gather mud and leaves on horseback.
For once, I agree with you. I think you should do that. Also,
I think you should help. You can be in charge of mud.
That's okay. Also, I think that having this carcass attached to our encampment overnight might be a bad idea. I think we should leave it here and come back for it in the morning as we make our way.
Then we will bury it.
Anyone want to play Dungeons and Dragons for the next quadrillion years?
I mean, we don't have to do that. We can just throw a couple leaves on it or something.
Two. Actually, 2 leaves.
Animals hunt with smell.
Well, there's
Exactly
no
my
way we're
point.
going to be able to cover up the scent of this thing.
Exactly my point.
But they might not find it if we bury it.
Well, if you want to start digging a hole, I'll start walking away from the carcasses.
I will dig a hole.
Do you have a
Do
shovel?
we have any Yeah.
I have axes.
I have no
You're gonna dig a
shovels.
grave for a horse.
I was not intending to dig a grave. Or even a storage hole for this thing.
Also, I know that one of us did have a shovel.
I think it
feel
was
like
Rufus.
It was maybe our dwarf. And now he is long gone. Back to, wherever it was he was from. He was a little vague
Dwarf,
on that point.
Cool.
All
Making a fucking note to buy a fucking shovel.
Okay, well, you have axes. There's some little scrubby trees here. What if we just cut down a little scrubby tree or two and just lay some branches over it?
That's exactly what we should do.
That way, at least it's
you
covered.
you can take 20 minutes and do that if you want to. Doss, do you just start heading off on your own, or do you wait for them
No,
to?
I'm gonna wait, but I'm gonna like
Okay.
go down to the river and just start picking like individual leaves off of a tree nearby, and then just
Okay.
come back over when everyone's done and just throw a handful of leaf confetti over the thing and be like, and then just like, there we go. No predators will be able to detect such a well-hidden bounty of flesh.
All right, and then you guys head south for what, like 30 minutes or so, just kind of following the creek bed, and make camp there.
Just
How
put
do you
some
guys wanna
distance
handle-
from the easy corpse?
How do you want to handle watches?
Fuck ass.
We've never
Damn
had to do
it!
watches before.
Yes, Doxy.
I hate
What's up?
today.
All right, all right.
All right. Well,
I
I
will
can
take
stay up
first
for-
watch.
I can take 4 hours of the night's watch because I only have to transfer 4 hours.
Yeah.
And with dark vision, I should probably take the middle chunk because
Well, there's 4 of us, right?
Yeah.
So it would be 4 sets of 3 hours.
Well, he's just saying he can volunteer for because that would actually make it so you guys spend less time resting. But I'm not going to get into the utter minutia of it. So DOS plus 2 others should be fine.
I'll take one. I'm barely hurt.
Well,
You're
so am
more
I,
hurt than
and-
me.
Okay, I'll sleep the whole time. That's fine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll take a watch because perception is one of my things.
Well, I tell you what, Gila, if you'll give me a healing potion, I will take a watch.
Ab.
Don't forget, this is
so
also going to be a short rest. So you guys will have your hit dice as well.
Also, for what it's worth, I'm going to cast my patented quadrant alarm setup.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So does anybody do anything that they would like to call out during the rest or watch?
Well, what do I have to roll again for a health potion?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
During my time that I'm
Isn't it
not
plus 4?
trancing. No, it's just plus 2, I think.
My bad.
Potion of
Maybe it's
healing,
plus 4.
2d4 plus 2.
My bad.
Okay.
My bad. My bad.
I think you're thinking of the other ones because the other ones is like 4d whatever plus 4. Anyways, I'm gonna use my 4 hours that I'm awake, studying that random scroll that I purchased during the festival. Also, I'm gonna attune to that bark.
Okay.
Whatever time that I have awake, I'm going to look for potion reagents.
Okay. Give me a nature check.
Sure thing.
I'm going to give you half of one, so you'll need to make another successful check to have another potion's worth of reagents.
Okay.
And then I don't actually need a perception from any of you because there's nothing that challenges you through the night.
Awesome.
But DOS, we were looking through, let's see, that was a 15 on your, oh, no, that was your other Arcana. Give me an Arcana check as you're studying this scroll.
Okay. It's a 24.
That is a fantastic check. I will give you 5 guesses at the missing words.
Okay. I set up a chart for this because I figured this was going to take me a while. So, am I able to glean any context from like words in front of or after it, or am I just guessing 5 random words?
It's the context based off of this. Well, let me actually pull the scroll up here.
Sure.
Where did I put it?
It's summon lesser humanoid, and it's infernal,
Yes.
right?
That is correct.
And sorry, how many words is it that are missing?
You aren't sure, but you're
Okay.
like based off of the length of it, it looks like maybe somewhere between like 1 and 4.
Esperna, can I
give
have
me
the
all
empty
the-
bottle back, please, from that potion?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
No, that's Pendar Lesser, not Lesser Humanoid. Ah, there it is. Okay. Move that to magic item so I don't lose it. And I gave you the components, right?
I don't think you did actually.
You did list them out.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Was
you?
it- was
it-
Okay.
Thatch and pants and
Oh no, you
something
did.
else,
Yeah,
right?
thatch,
Yeah.
1 gold piece, and an iron hammer.
Yes.
Those are
Yeah.
the components.
Okay. So basically, the content of the scroll. Now again, this is all in infernal or abyssal.
I think we said infernal.
Yes, it is an infernal spell scroll. So in infernal, basically what you're seeing here is they're kind of like trying to entice a human to want to appear.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So things that humans like. Okay. So sorry.
Things
so,
that an infernal thinks a human likes.
Yeah. Okay. You said I have 5 words that I can guess.
Yeah, I will give you 5 guesses based off
Okay.
that roll.
Okay. So the first guess we're gonna say riches.
Real quick. Things that infernals would think that humans like.
For 500, Alex.
All right. You try the spell scroll saying riches, but nothing happens.
Okay. Let's go with power, maybe.
Power is mentioned elsewhere, but that doesn't mean that it can't be used again in the same spell scroll, as I'm sure you would know. But again, nothing happens.
Maybe love.
No.
How about vengeance?
No.
How about, I don't know, what else do humans like that? What else do demons think that humans want?
There you go.
Bread?
That's the train of
What else
thought.
What else do devils think that
Food,
humans
sex.
want specifically?
Food and sex, yes, definitely.
Let's go immortality.
That is a word,
Okay.
but it is not the only word.
Nice.
Okay.
Dungeon Dad. Dungeon
So
Dad.
we've got
Dungeon Dad.
one of the 1 to 4. Okay, perfect. And I have added that to my list. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. I'm happy about this. Okay.
And the reason you know that that is actually true is because it flows in the cadence of infernal speech.
Okay. Excellent. I guess that's it for me in terms of downtime stuff.
During my watch, I would probably use Druidcraft to check the weather for the next 24 hours.
All right, next 24 hours, it is likely to rain. Based off of the little orb that appears that has like some drippy little water on it. Anybody else doing anything?
During this, Val's not really talking to anyone else.
Yeah.
And not
Kind of off on her own and just polishing her shield.
Gila is still like definitely grieving.
yeah.
I would also tell everyone that it's probably gonna rain, but it's gonna be kind of half-hearted, like.
Gila would also probably set up everybody's tents for them.
Oh yeah, tents.
Because she's strong, it would take her like no fucking time.
Sweet.
Just so you know, Esperna and Susanna, Druidcraft like summons a little orb that displays what the weather is going to be.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
anybody
like a
who
little-
sees it would also, yeah.
But seeing as how Val's kind of off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
know everybody's grieving, I just want to like. It's more of a like I'm checking in on you, not really I'm telling you about the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
you know it's gonna rain later. If, you know.
Assuming that nobody has anything else to go, I just popped it ready checkup for you. Want to make sure that I'm not skipping anybody. And I'm going, oh, you know what? I'm going to assume that the missing one is Posh.
Oh, God.
So.
It's still burning for you, bud.
Yeah.
It's still burning.
Yeah,
for you.
Hey, I'm sad too. And it's rare that I get sad over a character death. But dawn comes, and with it, the night fades, and you were able to see that there wasn't really like nothing challenged you in the night. What is the course of action you guys would like to take as you're kind of getting camp ready and breaking down your tents, so on and so forth?
I would have them break down the tents while I got the carcass.
All right, so you're going back for the carcass.
Yeah.
DOS, that first "the" should be a "the" with 2 E's.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
All right. So Gila, as you're heading back to the carcass, does anybody else go with her?
I would let them know that I was going.
Yeah.
And if anybody wanted to go, they could come, but it's only
What,
30
can
minutes
you
away.
move
so.
it on your own?
Yeah, we should probably.
Yeah,
go
yeah.
together.
She's strong.
Very
She's strong enough. I'm pretty sure that she's got the strength to drag it at the very least.
Especially with a rope, like, I'm gonna be fine.
Well, how far did we camp from the bodies?
30 minutes.
About 30 minutes.
That feels like a long way for you to go by yourself.
We could all go together, but that's 30 minutes off our journey. Well, it would take
isn't
you
it
guys
30
about an
minutes
hour
getting
to
back to
break
the
down
path?
camp.
We're already down a person. I don't have a lot of confidence with splitting the group. It just screams red flags to me so bad, particularly with wyverns who may or may not have been eating those bodies last night. I'm gonna go with you.
We can
Do I
stay.
have-
We can stay and break down camp together, and then all travel with the wagon.
Okay.
I
If
think
that
that's
would
the
make you
best
feel
thing to
better.
do.
Well, I know it's a drain on time, but I
Well,
would
we have
feel
to get back
better
to the trail anyway.
if we're all gonna be safe. Yeah.
Okay. So once camp is broken down and you head back up north to where you had left the bodies, you are probably unsurprised to find that they do indeed appear to have been devoured by a large creature based off the large ruts in the ground. And you can see that whatever it was had kind of dug out the area where you guys had attempted to cover the other one as well. So both corpses are eaten in there entirely. And not just for comedic effect, but to illustrate, what would have happened here. There is a large pile of wyvern dung, or some sort of creature, but it's probably the biggest thing that could leave such a pile behind.
Would this be useful?
Make a nature check, or actually, you know what? Make an alchemy check.
Ooh.
I would really love to do that. Oh, use my tools. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Somebody cue Jeff Goldblum saying that's a big pile of shit from Jurassic Park 1.
It is harvestable and used in certain poisons due to the fact that wyverns are naturally venomous creatures and poisonous creatures, I should say. That most things that they digest do have trace amounts of it left in them, so as does their feces.
Welp.
There's
I would
minimal value with apothecaries, but poor assassins are not against using. Like somebody who wasn't poor would pay for a better poison, but it is a poor man's poison.
I would look to a Sperna. Worth it?
I mean, how much do we want to be dealing with assassins?
I like being on their good side.
Well, a poison might not. I mean, it might come in handy dealing with whatever it is that we're going to be dealing with. There are evildoers out here. It might not be a bad idea to just coat a few weapons and stuff.
I'm gonna dip my hand axes in it.
You would need to distill and make an alchemical concoction out of it.
I'm gonna not bother with the fucking shit. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine.
I'm certainly not
uh,
going to fucking taint my alchemy supplies with shit
Well,
when
I
I try
think-
to make health potions with them all the time.
I think that Das will probably vomit if we try to put shit poison on her weaponry.
I have no problem with dung on my weapons.
I mean, you'd be cool with it. I'd be cool with it. I don't know about Das. I think he might get a little icky.
I don't kink shame, alright? Whatever you want to do with your weapons, you can go ahead and do. Just
He
keep that shit
says,
away from me.
having kink shamed about her rubbing dirt in her face and hair prior to this.
I've used dung as sunblock before.
That's
Hey,
a
man.
mistake.
Don't mess with that UV. That's all I'm saying.
The elders got
All right.
spots. The spots grew and killed them. It was from the sunlight.
Okay,
Having-
so not...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so not bothering with the shit. I think we're going to get on the road.
Yeah.
Yes?
All right. Yeah. Having slain the Lucrata and fed the great winged beast, which I have DM spoiled to be a wyvern, and, having provided food for it, you are unmolested on your second day of travel, but you will find that due to the unfortunate demi-plane overgrowth, it did stall you, so that day and a half did turn into a 2-day trip. But it is, you're probably, based off landscape and kind of what you're seeing, would probably arrive at the ranch by midday the next day. So by the end of the evening, you feel like you're pretty close. None of you own a map, so you can't say for sure, but just kind of the landmarks you were given let you know that you should be getting closer. You'll need to set up camp again. Obviously, we'll run the same watches. Does anybody want to do anything during a rest?
I'm gonna roll one of my hit dice.
Me too.
Okay.
If we're taking another rest, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing I did yesterday.
I do not
Okay.
know how to roll my hit dice on fantasy grounds. I'm so sorry.
It's
My hit dice didn't come back after the long rest.
I
Did they
think
not?
it's just a little...
okay. All right. So
I
I'm
don't know how
pretty
many
sure I
have.
hit the
see
long rest button.
HD here, but I guess I never filled in this field.
Well, the field should have dice that you can click on, but for whatever reason, it's not populating.
You have a number equal to your level, right? So
I believe
here's
so,
the
yeah.
deal. Everybody, please make a note right now of what spells you have used or cast or whatever. I'm going to hit the long rest button. So take note of your wounds and take note of your other stuff.
Okay.
Bec-
Okay.
My only thing
and
is
then-
21 wound.
Yeah. So when you're ready, go ahead and let me know, and then I'll hit the button.
I'm ready.
Ready.
The-
Posh is still not ready.
We have
That's fine.
mechanics for this. He'll never be ready again.
Did you get them back?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Well, then go ahead and fill in your wounds, and we'll just have to hard track your hit dice for some reason.
I do not know how many I have, but I imagine that's pretty easy to look up.
I think it's
also don't
equal
know
to your
what-
level.
I
It's
also
equal to
don't
your
know what
level.
kind I get as a bard.
You're
have
a D12.
Dope.
The only D12.
1D.
True that.
Can I?
So one more hit dice up to a character's maximum number of hit dice equal to your character level. You roll that die, add your con mod to it, and then that's how much HP you regain. So you have 4, and you can roll up to 4 of them, but you don't get them back until you finish a long rest.
Yep. I'm just gonna roll one.
In fact, you only gain half of them back when you finish a long rest. But with gritty realism, I think I'm going to change that to all of them.
I would really love if this would just work.
I'm just gonna roll the one.
Me too.
Fine. So
Plus
you
my
get
con.
12 back.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll another Arcana check for this?
Yes,
roll?
I do.
So that's good. 12.
You get 2 guesses.
2 guesses. All right, I've been making a list here, knowing what I know, so this will be a lot faster. I'm gonna guess slaves.
No.
Okay. And let's go with knowledge.
No.
Okay.
Think sins.
That's why I said
Ooh,
slaves.
sin.
Okay. All right. So then the next day we'll pick up, assuming nobody interrupts me and tell me there was something else you wanted to do.
Oh,
You guys
can
will
I check the weather again?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
The weather.
It is absolutely going to be raining, but it's a light rain based off of the orb.
Okay.
And Doxy, you can go ahead and hit the button for the ranch. Because you have arrived at Kustine Ranch, a rather immodest fence surrounds the opening perimeter, and several signs point out you're trespassing if unwelcome. No house members without permit of entrance, so on and so forth. Just very much, we don't want any. No solicitors. And as you're kind of coming in, you'll see like they have built just like these fantastically elaborate fence systems, which you can see that some fields lay fallow, others look like they might have fresh growth. So they clearly the ranchers move the cattle from paddock to paddock, just kind of keeping the land as fresh as possible. But off in the distance, you do see what looks like the main ranch house, and you can see that there are a few riders that are headed toward you. What would you do?
Probably
I would
stay
probably
at the
ask-
perimeter.
I would probably tell Val that she might want to take off her tabard with the house crest on it.
But then I would have to show crest of Das's house, which seems inappropriate.
It's just another house crest underneath.
I had forgotten about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, Das's crest is not like it's his family crest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're using
Different
the
kinda
appropriate
house.
language here. Yeah.
Just be prepared that they're going to ask a lot of pointed questions. Do we have our oh, help me out here, guys. Our token, our job thing
Quest
from
card?
the birds.
Quest
I
card.
would assume so, yes,
Yes.
because that's how we get
Yeah.
paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we might want to have that handy to present to the writers when they come and talk to us.
All right. So, the riders are kind of approaching. What is the plan?
Treat it like a
Just-
traffic stop.
Okay. Yeah.
What
So
seems to
there
be the
Quest
there
card
problem here,
ready?
officers?
all right. There are 3 riders, all atop horses. 2 of them are very gruff looking. If you had to guess, you'd say they're very clearly rancheros. The other one is a very petite woman with delicate, fine features, but a hard face. And the other 2 are riding in front of her as they pull up to a stop, and they'll just kind of nod to indicate at you, waiting for your response.
We were sent by Baron to deal with whatever problem is with your cow.
Birds, says one of the men.
Da.
All right, back to the house then. Follow us and stay on the trail. And assuming that there's no resistance to that, they'll lead you back to the main ranch house, whereupon the 2 rancheros will dismount and they will give a short bow to the woman, who gives them a curt nod and kind of like indicates that they should leave. And she'll turn to you and give you a withering smile and kind of a sarcastic curtsy. And she will do much the same that the rancheros did and indicate to you that it is your turn to speak.
Not Gila's wheelhouse.
Had anybody written down the first name of this Kustine guy
I believe I
from
did.
last session? I
Zeb.
think they had- Zeb, thank you. Okay. Have an inspiration for remembering
Yeah,
Zeb. Okay. So we'd probably say, where can we find Zeb Kustine? We need to speak to him about our mission.
Her smile fades, but returns. It is kind of like a crooked grin And so she finally speaks and says, Zeb is most pleased that you have accepted this request from the Baron. Unfortunately, he is unable to meet with your group at this time, as he is unwell. An encounter with a rather unruly bull has left him bedridden. He hopes you will understand, but all of your quest correspondence must go through me, Justinia. All matters regarding the ranch are my responsibility while Monsieur Custine is unavailable.
I do not understand what she said.
She said we talk to her.
That is fine.
I don't like it.
I'm sure he's a busy man who has many things to do. It's not uncommon for people in positions such as his to have to work through their lessers.
Well, may I ask what
She's going to cut you a glance, and she's going to say, I am afraid I am not Monsieur Coustine's lesser. I am his confidant.
May I ask what position she holds specifically to Mr. Custine?
Justinia Lafleur, that is me. I am the foreman and confidant of Custine Ranch, and have been for some time.
SB, tell them it's stupid. Tell them this is stupid.
Oh, I think they know that it's not ideal, and I'm gonna...
I'll take a history check if somebody wants to try and maybe puzzle out where she's from.
Sure.
Obviously, France.
I'll do it. Why not? I'll do it too.
Yeah, Hila wouldn't even bother. Like, she wouldn't even think to be like, where?
Well, out of character, I feel like she's probably from Valant.
Val can't even understand her, so she's not gonna bother.
Esperna is the only character that can place her as a member of the Lansola oligarchy on Nightfall.
Long way from home?
Yes, very.
I'm out of character. I'm not sure that it's appropriate to bring that up at this particular point in time.
Well, we know that he trades with a lot of different places, so that makes sense. That he would have connections with people from other continents, even.
That
You're
well,
real
I mean,
quiet
we
all
know
of a
that he
sudden,
does.
Josiah. Just so you know.
We know that he does business with all of the houses that are on this continent, but she's distinctly from a separate continent.
That's true.
She's from Nightfall. But
And not just houses, he deals with all the nations.
Mm-hmm.
Val is also from a different continent, so it's not that weird that she's here. It is possible to be from somewhere else and still be here.
Yeah, I mean, Das could even point out, like, just based off of his actual background, that she definitely comes from upper crust.
Yeah.
She's the opposite of Hila.
Who is also not from this continent. Oh, Dip. Das and I are the only ones from here, aren't we?
I'm like barely from here.
Yeah, he's like second generation Ornhallen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just look to her and say, I meant no offense by my remarks for what it's worth, but we were under the impression that we would be speaking directly with the man himself. However, if we must speak through you, then we must speak through you. We have traveled very long. Would appreciate a moment, I think, to rest before we can discuss business.
For now, we ask that you set up a quiet camp near the transfer paddock, as also the cattle that have already been purchased and are awaiting our ranch house to return. Escort them to their final destination. You may rest there. The ranch house is for Monsieur Stein and his direct guests only.
I'm gonna tug on Das's robe.
I just have like normal ass clothes on.
I'm
but
gonna
yeah,
tug on
Tunic.
Dot's normal ass clothes.
normal ass fine clothes, I
tunic.
guess.
We need things. We need things from the man.
Yeah, and this is his equal-leveled confidant who is doing his work for him. So,
We did want, addressing Justinia, we did want to discuss underwriting our contract for the butter that cures petrification by the cattle.
But that is a ridiculous request. Why would we give something so expensive for birds of your low rank?
for what it's worth, we don't expect you to give us such things. Merely lend them to us, so in case we need it, we can use it and then return it to you if we do not need it. We would never expect something for free, but if we go off and get petrified and are unable to bring your cattle back, then that doesn't do you any good either. And and you will have maybe a more difficult time getting another group of people out here having two groups of adventurers go missing.
Who would demand such things rather than be willing to barter for them.
Or give them back if they're unused. I will give nothing.
A salient point, yes. I think we had already agreed to provide masks to you. That is what the rancheros use. The butter is a very, very expensive item.
Listen, lady, how am I gonna fight a bandit wearing a mask that's gonna impede my vision and make it hard for me to grow big and strong? And I look over
Is-
at Doss.
She'll roll her eyes and she'll say, "The mask does not cover your eyes, Miss Barbarian.
There you
It is
go.
only for the mouth and the nose. It covers so you do not breathe the gas."
Well, that seems perfectly agreeable then.
I
I
would
would
like to
think that
try
this will
one of
be-
these masks, please. She would not have said
Are
please.
you-
She would not have said please.
Are you asking to anger one of the Gorgons?
No, I'm asking to try on a mask.
Oh, so not to test it, no?
To make sure that I can move around and kill things
I-
in the mask.
I will have some of the rancheros bring it with your dinner.
Oh, free dinner?
We are happy to
Her
house.
demeanor changes.
We are happy to house and feed you for up to 2 weeks, as we expect that it will take some time to locate and hunt down the rustlers.
Would
Thank
it
you,
be
kind madam.
possible?
Thank you.
Would it be possible to have one of the rancheros show us where the last attack took place?
Of course, the drive before the last one is where we lost our ranchos. That is the ones that was killed with 4 of the 6 there we saw, as yourself. But there should be a couple of free hands tonight, this evening, and they will be able to answer your questions. Anything that they are unable to answer, you may ask me. And should Monsieur Custine recover in time before you are able to complete your quest, then I think he would very much like to meet with you. Oui.
Okay.
For the sake of just jogging my memory a little bit, the last attack took place like a week, 2 weeks ago?
Was not so long, maybe 2 weeks.
And this was along the normal route that the cattle were driven?
Oui.
We had heard word that there were maybe not very many rancheros going with the appropriate amount of cattle. Like maybe there were a lot of cattle with fewer rancheros. Is there a reason why that would be?
Where are you hearing this information?
Well, naturally, as much information is provided to the birds as possible. We heard from one of the hatchlings who survived that you know, maybe there weren't as many rancheros as there were supposed to be for the number of head of cattle that you had.
Are you implying in some way that we are intentionally understaffing or unable to perform the expected duties of Kustan Ranch?
No, I'm simply saying that surely a ranch as fabled and successful as you would have a reason for doing so, one that was intentional and wise even in its decision, and I just wanted to understand what was behind it.
Oui, there is always so curious. You are correct. We have had some difficulty hiring hands this season for a number of reasons, but perhaps chief among them is the Gorgons are especially unhappy this year. Wyverns traveling south, rumors of man who turns to beast, things of that nature, you know, scares off the rancheros.
You need braver ranchers.
It's not an easy job, no, but yes, I believe there is little to fear. I think just a bit of rumor and fear mongering. Perhaps our competitors unhappy with our success.
Would there be specific competitor who has, let's say, vendetta?
I'm sorry, you are a human woman. You speak with dwarf accent.
It is long story.
Most curious. If we have a free moment, I may invite you to the home, and you may tell me it. But I'm so distracted by the accent. What your question was?
Do you believe there is possible competitor who would like to see you fail?
Oh, Kustan Ranch has many competitors. We deal with them as best we can, offer gold where we can, and others we perhaps the fist of business to take care of things. Yeah, I should say.
Has there been complications in past similar to this?
For as long as I have been confidant to Monsieur Kustan and lead of this ranch, there have been problems.
Do you have any suspicion that this is targeted attack?
The report from the hatchlings that the Baron sent says that there are men who turn to beasts. That is not the budget or purview of any of our competitors, no. Seems a bit more ill-intended than competition.
Were there any rancheros who had survived the attack, who had returned?
No. Unfortunately, we lost all of our rancheros that were on the drive. You had already brought up that we have a shortage, so cannot send so many, no? Also, with the Lucrota in such large number, and as a reason we have so few, we must keep many hands at the ranch to keep them out and at bay. All the magic we use to protect the ranch, which requires a bit of human intervention.
Old
Was
magic,
there anything?
like... Go ahead.
Was there anything sus about her statement that no one made it? Like, maybe she's saying that but someone did survive, but they don't want us talking to him.
Roll insight. Everything seems legit and normal to you. Like, her response was quick and decisive.
Okay.
Either, I mean, out of character, you can either anticipate.
D4, which probably doesn't change much.
No. Susanna or Esperna, you were saying?
wasn't very important because I forgot what it was.
Talking about Lucrata, old magic.
Oh, yes, the old magic. Thank you. I was gonna ask what the old magic is that they use.
We use seals that are powered by magic relics of some sort to kind of create a ward. Old magic, pre-convalescence, but it works.
For all you geeks out there, that's a throwback to a previous campaign.
Would I have any idea what she's talking about?
Arcana?
Sure.
I feel like I certainly would not, but if there's a chance, I would love to know if I would.
Ooh, can I roll?
You know what? Yeah, there is a chance. I will let you roll an Arcana as well.
Okay.
Can I roll too, since my family is also earthbound to like villages and stuff that would potentially use that?
They likely wouldn't, so you can make one at disadvantage. Oh wait, are you proficient in Arcana?
No.
Then no.
My Arcana was using Strength. I don't remember whether it's Wiz or Int.
It should be Intelligence.
Okay. I do not know.
A 15 is enough to know that yes. So what she's talking about is indeed it's the technology that was kind of created when the world lost its deities and lost its magic. So using the magic that's dormant in magical items, they were able to basically fuel rituals that would create protective areas around towns and villages and stuff.
Cool. Okay. I would love to take a look at that at some point, but that's not what we're here for. In the meantime, I guess we should make camp and convene with you to discuss specifics.
Like
Wait,
dinner.
I will have one of the rancheros bring you your meal. I do not think you should need anything else from me today. I will perhaps have one of the rancheros checking on you tomorrow, and when the ones return this evening, I will send them to you as well, and you may ask them your ceaseless questions.
Perfect.
I am a busy woman. I am going to return to my work. Hopefully you are able to quickly and efficiently resolve this issue for us, and it would be much appreciated.
Do you, by chance, have small forge on property?
Your accent is so adorable. I sorry, repeat what you said again.
A forge. Do you have a forge? An anvil, some bellows, a fire.
Her small little her little smile just turns into a frown, and she's gonna glare at you. Say, I was not speaking with you, Madame Barbarian, but yes, we have several forges as is normal on a ranch. Does Madame require use of such a forge?
If it is no trouble, I would appreciate some time.
Oh, it would be no trouble at all. I will have one of the rancheros escort you after your camp is set up.
It is appreciated.
She says thanks.
That smile fades again. That smile just disappears again, and she'll look at you and she'll nod, and then she's gonna turn around and head back off towards the ranch house.
You're a busy woman. I'm saving you time.
That's fantastic.
She'll toss a hand up over her shoulder, like in a curt wave.
So I'm gonna turn to our House of Justice lady. Be like, so, House of Justice, Justinia, connection, eh?
You are making stretch.
So no.
I
Damn.
would not believe so, no.
Well, I still say that whoever's bringing us this dinner, we question the heck out of them. Because I still think something's going on around here.
Right. And Val, would you like to spar later with masks on to see that we can move in them?
I am not too concerned about mask. It should not stop me from taking hits.
I think it's more like, can you breathe sufficiently to,
Right. Moving them.
yeah. Like, moving might be fine, but if you get winded because you're, in a mask.
I suppose my enthusiasm is not particularly high.
I would rather test against somebody that I know won't hurt me.
I'll do it!
I would destroy you on accident, Esperna.
I have my shillelagh stick!
You would destroy me on accident.
Yeah, it's probably not a great idea.
It is
so
no
what do you-
offense to you, but I would like time alone at Forge. It helps me clear thoughts.
I look over to DOS. I look over to DOS and then just kind of shake my head and then look back to Val.
And then I look to Esperna and like, she's right. I would kill her.
And then I say, please let me know if you change your mind. Fighting trees doesn't go so well for the trees. And then I look excitedly over at Esperna.
She's not wrong! She'll take somebody out!
I knocked it over. I
Even
knocked
if
over
it's
the
a
tree.
tree.
I've been trying all my life, and then I did it. It was really good.
It was really cool, though. You had to be there.
I will take word for it.
All right, so I'm assuming you guys will go ahead and go set up camp. A short while after your camp is set up, a couple of rancheros will arrive, bringing with them a simple meal. Not quite beans in a can, but nothing glamorous. Again, prestidigitation, the ultimate meal maker. So they'll bring you your meal. They'll bring you a couple of masks. They'll bring 8, so one for each, two for each of you, and they'll explain that when you put the masks on and break the seal, that it only lasts for about an hour.
Okay.
Or excuse me, not an hour, 8 hours. I don't know what I was thinking. It'll last 8 hours, so you have a day's use out of it, basically. One of them will stick around. The other one is going to go ahead and take Val to the forge if she's ready to go.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
What about the horses? If the horses breathe the gas, are they gonna turn to stone? Are there masks for the horses?
They let you know that they typically do not ride horses, unless not near the Gorgons, because yes, if the horses breathe them in, it is likely they'll turn to stone. They use them on the drive, but as far from the Gorgons as they can.
I think our intent for the horses was to cover as much ground as possible, since
Sure.
we're trying to follow their same running path.
And they were also if you recovered any of them, that would allow you to drive them back.
Are any of them the one that would be showing us where to go tomorrow?
No, those are those ones were supposed to be coming back tonight, she said.
Oh, okay. Would any of them be comfortable telling us about this Justinian lady and what kind of relationship she has with Zeb Kustein?
Also, do any of them look particularly muscly?
I mean, they look like ranch hands, so yeah, they're hard workers.
Hila would for sure ask if any of them wanted to spar, just to make sure that she could move around well in the mask.
Let's see.
You can address the other thing first, for sure.
Well, no. I'm trying to think how would he respond. So I think the guy that's there, that's brought you your food, the one that's not, the one that's staying and not taking Val away, is like, look, I ain't got no interest in fighting, but I know a fellow that probably wouldn't mind changing blows here or there. So if you don't mind, I'll send him over once we're done chatting.
Absolutely.
Okay. You wanted to know what he thinks of Justinia?
And what is the nature of her relationship with Zeb Kustein?
He'll shrug and be like, well, Mademoiselle Lafleur has been here longer than I have, but my understanding is that she is a representative of an investor of Mr. Kustein's. But best I know it is that her family has significant funds tied up in this ranch, and ever since she arrived, things have been going much more smoothly. Trade has been better. Certainly more drives. And he's going to look around and peer over his shoulder and then whisper to you and say, she is stronger in iron, though. Do not test that woman's temper.
My temper is bigger than her temper. I'm not.
He's going to look at you. He's like, I promise you, madam, it ain't. There is a fury in that woman 10 times larger than she is.
You think bear-like, maybe?
Oh, no, not at all. Maybe more of a dragon.
I do not fear dragons.
Can I
You
ask
ought to.
him? Can I ask him about Zeb Kustein's illness? Like, cause he seems to be kind of a recluse. So has he always been reclusive, or?
You talking about illness? No, he had a bad run-in with one of the bulls.
Well, how did he do that? I mean, he wouldn't be out doing the drives with the
Mr.
hands,
Kustein
would he?
is a very hands-on owner of the ranch. He works with the ranch hands regularly. He just doesn't leave the ranch much.
How many? I've heard it's been hard to hire on hands recently. Why do you work here, basically, but with more tact?
Make a negotiation check. You can use charisma.
Cool. Negotiation, charisma.
Well, look, you ain't in no position, especially since your justice woman's gone off, to put me in any sort of trouble. And I know Mr. Kustein had my back anyway, but truth be told, was a bit of an outlaw. Didn't really have a place left in the monarchy, and family's close, didn't exactly want to relocate. So Mr. Kustein offers a fair wage, square meals, a place to rest my head, and it's steady work. So you're right. It's been hard hiring hands this season. Number of reasons, especially them damn Lucrata. But to tell you the truth, I wouldn't have anywhere else to go.
Would you say that that's the case for a lot of the hands around here?
You wouldn't be wrong making such assumptions. Few of us here come from other ranches, but a good chunk of the hands are here because, well, Mr. Kustein don't discriminate as long as you're willing to pull your weight.
What'd you hear went down with the attack 2 weeks ago on this latest drive?
He's gonna take off his hat and hold it to his chest. He said, lost a couple of good friends in that. Touching a sore spot there, miss, but understand you're just doing your job. They sent a shorthand out on the drive, hired some hatchlings to go with them, and all we heard from the ones that come back was a bit of a bear of a woman, maybe quite literally. A couple others, also very animalistic in their attack.
And no cattle made it back from then.
No, none.
Well, you'll be happy to hear at least that we've killed 2 Lucrata on the way here.
A fair few.
So,
Before that, we killed a few.
That is a mighty fine accomplishment, and it does put me a bit at ease knowing that birds that we have here at least know what they're dealing with.
How many you seen?
This season,
Aye.
they're traveling in packs, and usually ain't more than one or two at a time. But me and my mates, we counted maybe upward of 10.
I would shoot a very concerned look at SB.
Okay, now it's only 8.
I mean, the
So
wards do their
we're 2
jobs,
ahead.
but for the most part, as long as you stick to the trail, you're not going to run into them. They're smart, clever beasts, and they don't like dealing with the Gorgons very much.
We do stick to the trail, and they have pestered us.
Well, they've had
Yeah,
a bit
but-
of a vendetta for some reason against us.
You also ain't driving Gorgons, and I'm sure you maybe just misheard me, but it's not us they're afraid of. It's the Gorgons we're pushing.
Just want you to be safe.
How
We all do.
How many days in a drive does it normally take from here to, I guess, Menahome is where you sell them?
Well, we sell them all over, miss, but from here to Menahome's about 4 or 5 days hard work, usually closer to 6 or 7.
And the attack took place on the 2nd or 3rd day?
You know, I wasn't involved in it directly, so I couldn't tell you. That's Miss LaFleur or one of the gentlemen who's returning this evening.
Well, thank you for your help.
He'll nod and tip his hat. Says, kindly, appreciate having you here.
Did anybody else have any other questions that they could think of
Mm-mm.
that maybe they couldn't pose to Miss Justinia, excuse me?
Nope.
Val, you are shown to a rather not elaborate but well bedecked forge area, likely where they're making all of their ironworks for the ranch.
Am I alone in there?
No, the guy that's there is like there are actually a couple of ranch hands that are working in there, but he's going to show you, he's like, this is the area. If you would like one of the anvils is free. The bellows is over there. You'll have to work it yourself. Unfortunately, that bellows operator, the donkey broke something, and so we had to put him down. We don't have a replacement, so you'll have to work the bellows yourself.
It is fine.
But it's a large enough forge that you shouldn't be like, they're not breathing on you.
Okay. So is it? I'm guessing since other people are working, it is started up.
Yeah. Well, so each, like, they have like 4 or 5 bellows, and like it just depends on how many people are working. But there are like 10
Pleasure to
people in
meet
here
you.
right now. But there is a free anvil, and the bellows he pointed you at it's lit, but you'll have to basically spin the crank to generate heat.
Okay. Well, I will get it going.
Sure.
Do you want to check for that?
No, I mean
Okay.
you're literally spinning a big crank.
Okay. Well, I do have my stuff, but I'm waiting for it to get to heat, and then
Sure.
what I want to do is take my tongs and start heating up the end of the tongs,
Mm-hmm.
and then once they are at heat, Val's gonna take them out and then lift the side of her shirt
Mm-hmm.
and then press the tip of the tongs onto her skin next to 2 other marks that are there, and then use lay on hands to dull the pain.
Yeah, make a con save. Yep, totally fine. The dice agree.
And then after doing that, just cover it up and then just do basic tool maintenance.
All 10 of the hands turn and are mouths agape. But once you kind of pull your shirt back down and go back to smithing, they all wordlessly will go back to their work as well.
And then I'll just spend my night just sharpening and
Yeah.
knocking out dents.
Would you, assuming that that doesn't take you all night, would you be willing to help the ranch hands with their work?
I suppose it's a distraction.
Okay.
Out of character, I have so many questions, and I'm so mad that none of us were there to witness that.
I'm very sad that I wasn't here to witness it.
Ugh.
You described. I was bursting though. I had to pee so bad. Sorry.
It's okay. Would anybody else like to do anything with the remainder of the session time we have, or do we want to go ahead and call it here?
I would like to inquire about a brief rundown for what happened at the fort.
Oh, well, actually, before we do that, I forgot. I did mention that they would bring some things by. So you guys have the masks, and after the first gentleman leaves, it's closer to sunset. But eventually a larger fellow does arrive, and based on his appearance, you can tell that he's a smith, because he's got one arm much larger than the other. But he'll show up and he's like, I was told that somebody here is spoiling for a good tussle.
Now I don't want to hurt you, and I won't let my anger get a hold of me, but I just want to make sure that I can fight in these masks.
He's gonna look at Gila, and like you can see that little glint of glee that was in his head just kind of disappears. He's like, oh.
I encourage you to try to hurt me.
Pardon me, miss, but I ain't never hurt a woman before.
I'm plenty capable, no matter what my nethers hold.
When he says Doss audibly scoffs.
It's like, I'm also, truth be told, a bit terrified. You are at least a head taller than me. So, I mean, I'm a man of my word. We'll tussle. Please don't break anything.
I promise.
I'm gonna yell out, punch her in the face!
Yeah, I'll even, like, I'll do unarmed. I don't know how to do unarmed.
We're just gonna do, like, we're gonna do athletics checks.
Okay.
Can I sit on one of the fences like a spectator and go, woo?
Am I doing constitution for breathing through the mask
No.
or strength for fighting him?
No, you're sparring, so this will be strength athletics.
Okay, cool.
So
And I do
you don your
encourage
mask.
him to hurt me if he can.
Are you gonna break the seal on the mask, or are you just wearing it?
What? I don't know what you mean.
So the masks don't work like to prevent you from turning to stone unless you break the seal, which then gives you 8 hours of preventative substance that keeps you from turning to stone, basically.
I'm gonna break the seal. Absolutely. I'm going to wear it as I would wear it on the field.
All right, so when you first put the mask on, you find that it's like you just breathe through it normally. There's almost no impediment. But once you break the seal, it's a little bit like trying to breathe in a really thick fog.
Okay. In humidity, right? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
like 99% humidity.
Gotcha. Roll athletics?
Yes. You pin him with ease. I rolled a 1.
Oh, bud.
So down he goes, like immediately, like a sack of potatoes. You get him down.
All right.
But back up, and he'll be ready to go again.
I would even get up and like offer him a hand and be like, "Come on,
Yeah,
I know you can do better."
He'll take it and do it again. This time he gets the better of you. He pulls your leg out from under you, and using that one giant behemoth cannon arm, he's gonna like hold you down. And you find it's difficult to struggle up against it, but he doesn't. He'll relinquish once you're actually pushing hard enough. We can do one more.
Yeah, I'll also like there will be a new sparkle in her eye, just like that's what I was asking for.
Yeah. Just barely, you're able to win this one, and it's a real contest. You're both locked in a grapple. You might throw in a couple of punches here and there. He gets a couple of knees, but eventually you get the better of him and put him on the ground. And you'll find that like largely you're fine. Like the mask isn't stopping you by any degree. It's just like breathing fog.
Okay. I would ask him his name.
I didn't name him.
That's fine.
William. His
She
name
would
is
know
William.
His name, and
He's
Tell
William
us
the Smith.
William.
Okay.
William the Smith, share my dinner. I thank you
He's
for this.
if he had a hat, he'd doff it and thank you for the offer, but he's already eaten.
She'll just grab a handful of whatever it is and tuck it in his pocket, pat him on the ass, and push him away.
Out of fear, he's not going to say or do anything. He's just going to meander off. And Doss or Esperna, you might notice that once he gets a suitable, actually Doss with the dark vision, will notice once he's a suitable distance away that he just kind of scoops it out disgustingly and flings it on the ground.
That's very funny. I have a 2-minute long internal debate about whether I want to tell Gila about it, but ultimately decide not to for that man's safety.
All right. Then yeah, I don't have anything else for tonight. We can go ahead and end here unless anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns.
We are taking a short rest here?
Yeah, this will be another short rest.
Okay. I'm just gonna study that scroll more.
Has anybody been keeping track of the days?
We had 2 days on the road.
And this is the
one
third.
day at the ranch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that you're asking that question.
All right.
Everybody make a note in their notes.
Yep.
2 days on the road.
Fuck! I also would have asked that guy for a shovel.
You can get a shovel in the morning, I think.
Okay.
So you guys know that your ranchers will have returned in the night, so you'll be able to talk to them in the morning. If you need anything else from Justinia, you could probably talk to her in the morning. And then basically they kind of gave you guys a blank canvas of figuring things out. So it will be on you guys. And as a GM, I encourage you all to discuss amongst yourselves in the time leading up to the next session what the plan will be, so that you can kind of go into it with an action plan. And if you guys do come up with something, feel free to share that with me, because then I can kind of be more prepared and have content ready for your actions instead of having to guess. But yeah, leading up into the next session, just understand you guys have a blank canvas here for how you're going to tackle this problem.
Okay.
Anything else from anybody?
That'll do it for old Doxter.
All right. Then if that's the case, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We very much appreciated having you, especially those of you that made it out on a Saturday when typically we play on Fridays. Our next session, I believe, should return to Friday. And hopefully we'll have a solution to the posh problem by then as well. Before we head out for the evening, of course, we can do the usual. Josiah, if you want to pimp your channel.
I have a YouTube channel. Search youtube.com/c/DungeonDad. You'll find it there. And there's lots of cool D&D content and monsters and stuff.
He knows more about D&D than anyone I know. It's insane. I can just ask him a question and he knows the answer. It's ridiculous.
Don't
Rumble,
do it now.
tell us, give us an anime recommendation. Pimp an anime.
What anime are you watching right now? Pick one of the 10.
I'm sorry.
Laughed a little too hard.
Come on, Rumble. This is your spotlight.
Well, what didn't get canceled? Thanks, Corona. An interesting one airing right now is called Wave Listen to Me. It's on Funimation's site. It is about a woman who ends up getting into radio, and it goes into the minutia of live broadcasting. Solid comedy.
Susanna, pimp your plants.
So let's see. It's now mid-May. if anybody hasn't planted their perennials for the summer yet, you need to get on it because your time window is shortening rapidly, and you might start thinking about perennials for the fall season as well. So like your black-eyed Susans and your late blooming salvias and anything that's going to bloom August on, start thinking about that if you haven't already.
I'm sure all of us here in chat are ready for that. Camus, you can either give us something fun about New Zealand or any passion project of yours. Pimp it.
Pimp your next character.
Yeah, pimp your next character.
New Zealand. It's cold right now.
That is true. It is
Very
cold
cool.
right now.
They're getting
And,
tarantulas in Animal Crossing.
Doxy, obviously we're all here on your channel, but I believe there's a little side project you have going on called Arcanist something or another that you might want to talk about.
Josiah actually also works there. We are making a board game, and it is really fucking fun, and it is inspired largely by D&D, and it's set in the world of Yarviskir, which some of you are familiar with. It's Ollie's homebrew world, and there will be updates. It's just very hard to get anything done during this pandemic. That said, there is a pandemic, and if you actually are one of those people that are like, I'm never gonna wear a mask, I want you to please unsubscribe and never talk, ever.
It's just
And
like
that's
it's just like the ranchero masks, you know. You wear your N95 mask, it's good for 8 hours, you go out, you do your thing.
Am
you
I
gotta
the
throw it
only
in the
one
garbage.
who's a little bit miffed that COVID followed us into my fantasy world of D&D?
It's fucked, but that's the first thing I thought. When you're like, the masks, yeah, you wear them once and then you gotta get rid of them. Like,
Yeah,
they're no
I'm
good
a
after
little
that
bit
8
I'm
hours.
a little
I was like,
upset.
cool. I did that all day today when I had to go out into the public for reasons. Now
And
I'm fun if I
lastly,
D&D.
if you'd like any updates on our D&D campaign or want to know what's going on or when you can watch us next, you can follow us on Twitter at Ritual Cast Show. Please do so. I am a terrible tweeter, though, and usually only talk about, hey, our next session is this time. But occasionally I might find something funny that is relevant and post it on there as well. But other than that, I think we've all had a good time tonight. And thanks again for coming out. And we'll see you probably maybe next week or the week after. We'll let you know. That's what Twitter is for.
Keep an eye out. All right, bye, everybody.